Minecraft, the strongest player. Chapter 1. In less than 3 minutes, the first test of Minecraft Online will begin. Luu rubbed his little hands excitedly. When he was a child, his father often took him to play Minecraft and he would play it all day long. I heard from my father that Minecraft carries his youth. From elementary school to college to work, he would open the game and watch it online from time to time. Those like-minded friends back then had already gone their separate ways, and no one would accompany him to dig cubes stupidly with him anymore. Dad once pointed at the buildings on the screen to introduce them to him. This is your Uncle Milk Tea's house. This is your sister Orange's farm. This is. One building after another, there are countless treasures. At some point, my father's eyes were already red. At some point, their mother appeared behind them. She knelt down and comforted her father softly. By the way, I forgot to mention that Luu's parents also met in Minecraft. I have no regrets entering this world, and I would like to be a square person in the next life. This is what my father always said. As the descendant of 2 square people, Luu has been influenced by it since he was a child. However, no one among his peers could speak the same language as him, and no one was willing to play a Mosaic quality game with him. Until some time ago, Magic Craftsman Company, which had been silent for a long time, suddenly held a press conference. Announced the upcoming launch of Minecraft Online, the sequel to Minecraft. Luu was lucky. He grabbed a limited edition of 10,000 first beta activation codes, which also came with a set of the latest Magic Craftsman holographic simulation game helmet. He slowly put on his helmet and lay on the bed. Different from ordinary VR games, this Minecraft Online uses the latest immersive holographic simulation technology. Players will enter a deep sleep state after putting on the helmet, and the operations in the game are completely operated through brainwave feedback. Whether it is taste, hearing, or smell, it can rely on brainwaves to simulate real feelings. If you are a masochist, you can even turn on pain simulation. Welcome to the Magic Craftsman holographic simulation game helmet. Brainwave scanning is in progress. Identity verification successful. We are connecting you to the Minecraft Online server, please wait. Connection successful, please create your role. Following a system prompt, a light curtain appeared in front of Luu's eyes. A small square figure that looked somewhat similar to Luu appeared on the light screen, spinning slowly. Minecraft Online uses the most advanced information collection technology to collect various physical data of players. Realistic face pinching is just the simplest one. If the player becomes physically uncomfortable after entering the deep game mode, it will automatically detect the data and forcibly disconnect from the game. It can even automatically call the hospital and call an ambulance when the player's condition is critical. What name should I choose? After some ideological struggle, a brand new idea appeared on the villain's head. The character Witty Cube Man was created successfully and a new world is being loaded for you. Luu only felt his eyes go dark, briefly lost consciousness, and then entered a deep sleep state. When he opened his eyes again, what he saw was no longer the white ceiling in the room. What appeared in front of him was a huge square of tens of thousands of square meters. The square was already full of people and seemed a bit crowded. As soon as the players entered this strange world, they looked around excitedly, and Luu was no exception. After checking, I found a small backpack that came with the system, wearing the initial skin that came with the system, and a game guide. After opening it and checking it, Luu had a strange look on his face. Isn't this the most basic item synthesis formula? He could recite them all at the age of 3. It's just that he may be the only one in the audience who thinks so. Holy shit, what is this? I can't even understand it. Is this long stick a stick? These are all squares, but the colors are different. Who can tell them apart? And why are these things all square? This is too unscientific. Many new players have already begun to complain crazily. Luu sneered, science? Are you talking about science with MC? This is not the business of Mr. Newton. This square seems to be a closed cage, surrounded by towering stone walls. Several restless players, naughty kids, have already tried to claw their way through the cracks in the rocks and begin to climb up. Their hands and feet were nimble and their movements were extremely agile. They were about to climb to the top of the city wall. Looking down from above, the person below has become like a little ant. Haha. We are the first players to climb out of the spawn point. Just stay down there slowly. One of the men was just one step away from scaling the wall, and he shouted triumphantly to the players below. However, the next second, his body suddenly froze. A bolt of thunder roared and struck him, leaving his whole face blackened and his hair standing on end. Several people not far from him also suffered, and they all let out screams. Nearly 10,000 players below just watched a few people falling from the wall like kites with broken strings. Before the bodies of several people even hit the ground, they turned into luminous particles and disappeared into the air. Suddenly, the whole place was silent. All the players looked at each other, a little frightened for a moment. "I didn't expect that your enthusiasm would be so high." A deep and majestic voice suddenly sounded from above the square. Everyone looked up at the sky. In the center of the square, there was a bald man floating there. He was wearing grey trousers, a brown shirt, a striking bald head, a thick black beard, showing a row of white teeth, and a half-smile expression on his face. It's just that his eyes are a little dull and he looks a little funny. "Welcome to Minecraft Online. I'm the producer of this game, you can call me Notch." Luu looked at Notch stupidly. He always thought it was just a legend in the MC world. Unexpectedly, it is actually true. Since the creator god Notch is real, will he, 303, and 404 characters from MC's weird urban stories also exist? He suddenly became a little excited. When he was a child, it was not the fairy tales that accompanied him to sleep, but the legends that had been circulating in the MC world for a long time. For example, the story of the most famous record number 11 is still fresh in his memory. When he was playing games as a child, he was frightened by the weird music and couldn't sleep. I will announce the game rules of Minecraft Online next, please keep them in mind. The expression on Notch's face remained unchanged, no one knew what he wanted to say. Luu also pricked up his ears, wanting to listen more carefully. Here, there are no rules. Chapter 2. Luu was very puzzled. What does he mean? Everyone, I know you are all confused now, but it doesn't matter. Keep listening and you will understand. Luu always felt that something was wrong, but he just couldn't explain it. This is the first beta test of Minecraft Online, so you are very lucky to be one of the 10,000 lucky ones. In order to repay everyone's enthusiasm, I, the great creator god Notch, have decided to award rewards to the top 10 in the gold coin rankings after the 1-month first test. Players ranked 6th to 10th will receive a reward of 200,000 yuan each. As soon as this statement came out, everyone was excited. 200,000. It's already a big amount, and you can get money for playing games. Who can't be excited about such a good thing? The 4th to 5th place will each receive a reward of 500,000 yuan. 3rd place gets 1 million. 2nd place gets 2 million. As for the 1st place, Notch suddenly smiled and paused, whetting everyone's appetite. Everyone held their breath and waited for the number from his mouth. The 1st place will receive 10 million in cash and a randomly enchanted book. Hiss. Hearing the number 10 million, everyone in the audience was stunned. I didn't expect the reward for 1st place to be so generous. It's just that they only focused on counting money, but ignored the value of the randomly enchanted book. That was an enchanted book written by the god of creation. It must be of extraordinary quality. It must be at least level 5, Luu thought secretly. As for where the gold coins come from, you don't have to worry. As long as you are not idle, you can get gold coins, but gold coins appear randomly. This depends on your character. Such as mining, planting, animal husbandry, refining medicine, fighting monsters. Even, kill people. Notch's tone is slightly more serious. Minecraft Online does not prevent players from attacking each other, but you must think about the consequences. During the first beta, each player only has 3 resurrection opportunities. When the resurrection opportunities are exhausted, they will no longer be able to log into the game after they die and will have to wait until the next public beta of the game. Suddenly someone in the crowd let out a distressed ouch. It was the people who were struck to death by lightning on the city wall before. They have now been reborn again, but before the game has even started, they have lost 1 life. Luu looked at his status bar. In addition to the basic 10 bars of hunger and 10 bars of blood, there were 3 flashing dots above level 0, which must have represented 3 opportunities for rebirth. And these 3 small dots seemed to be visible only to the player himself. Luu looked around and couldn't even find other people's health bars. And if you kill the opponent's player, 50% of the gold coins on him will drop, and everyone can pick it up. The more Luu listened, the more frightened he became. This was simply a game of life and death, full of tests of human nature. Ordinary people will choose normal games, but there is no guarantee that someone will specifically attack players and plunder each other's gold coins for the top 10 rewards. After all, compared to working hard to mine and defeat monsters, it is better to kill players directly, so that it is less difficult to obtain gold coins. You only need to enter the /money command to view the gold coin rankings. As for more game content, you need to explore it on your own. I wish everyone a happy game. See you in a month. After Notch finished speaking, his figure suddenly disappeared into the air. A random transmission will take place in 3 seconds, players please be prepared. System prompts sounded in the square. Before Luu had time to react to what happened, a white light suddenly flashed before his eyes and disappeared. In an instant, the entire square became empty. Not long after, Notch's figure appeared again, and a giant light screen appeared in front of him, which densely displayed the current status of nearly 10,000 players. Notch glanced at the time, it was already afternoon, and it would be dark soon. Most people are still in a daze, full of curiosity about the unfamiliar world. They haven't realized how scary the MC world will be at night. Notch quietly adjusted the game mode from normal to hard, but he felt it was not enough, so he simply set it to nightmare. There was a sneer on the corner of his mouth. This is a new difficulty level that he has carefully developed. I wonder how many people will be left in a month? He suddenly became vaguely looking forward to it. Hey? Who is this little guy? He's quite smart. He actually built a workbench as soon as he came up. Notch zoomed in on that area, and Luu's voice and shadow appeared on the light screen. At this time, Luu was in a birch forest, surrounded by lush trees. The first thing he did when he came here was to roll out 3 logs with his hands. This is almost an operation engraved in DNA. Quickly break down the logs into birch boards and then into sticks on the simple workbench that comes with the backpack. 4 wooden boards were placed in a circle, and a workbench appeared in the backpack. As soon as Luu thought about it, the workbench appeared in his hand. It had to be said that this thing seemed to be quite heavy. He discovered that gravity exists in the game world of Minecraft Online, but it seems that only the player himself is limited by gravity. Otherwise, the lone birch tree above his head would have been smashed down long ago. Place the workbench at your feet, skillfully place the sticks and boards, and a wooden axe and wooden draft are completed. He took out the wooden axe, put the workbench back into the bag, and chopped off the birch wood above his head. As a senior MC player, Luu also has some obsessive-compulsive disorder. But it's not that serious. At most, all the trees must be cut down, the coal must be dug out, the grass on the grass at the door must be removed, and the boxes must be sorted. Okay, it feels pretty serious. But compared to his mother, that pales into insignificance. One time, he and his father were playing games until after 12 o'clock and he stayed up until after 12 o'clock. His mother saw him and got scolded. When he came home from school the next day, he found that the mountain behind his matchbox room had suddenly disappeared. There are dozens of large boxes in his house, which are densely packed with various excavated stones. It turned out that Luu's mother had obsessive-compulsive disorder, so she spent a whole night digging up the mountain. After hearing this, Luu felt a little doubtful about life. He finally understood why his mother didn't play games with him. It turned out that there were reasons. Therefore, it is understandable that Luu has some obsessive-compulsive disorder. After all, there are genetic factors in it. I glanced at the sun in the sky, which seemed to be setting a little in the west. It seemed that it was almost evening. Luu felt bad and had to hurry up. In the early stage, I didn't have any equipment, so it would be difficult if I encountered a monster at night. Chapter 3. Lu Sun once said that if you want to get rich, you must first plant trees. Lu Sun, I never said that. Luu deeply agreed. He picked up the axe and started chopping at the birch tree nearby. The log fell beside him and was automatically absorbed into the backpack. But Luu stopped quickly, and he discovered something not good. It's just that after just cutting down a few trees, half of the hunger bar was lost. This hunger bar is consumed too quickly. If he cuts it like this, he will probably die tonight due to low hunger level. It would be too shameful to starve to death in MC. He quickly put away his axe and began to look for a way out of the woods. In the early stage, some wood is enough. The main reason is the lack of food, so I don't dare to go into the mines at all. In addition, the hunger here is depleted so quickly, so he must find something to eat quickly. Walking along the birch forest, we soon saw a small river. Planting can be done if there is water, which is good news. Although it cannot solve his food and clothing problem for the time being, it is at least a good sign. After walking along the river for about 30 minutes, his hunger level had been depleted by 2 billion Argentine pesos, but he still didn't find what he wanted. This game is so messed up. Why can't I even see an animal? Along the way, Luu didn't see a single ghost. Little did he know that in order to increase the difficulty of survival, Notch had reduced the number of naturally occurring animals in the world to the minimum. Not only that, even the number of ores, plants, and trees has been reduced. If he could meet animals randomly, he would really be lucky. After walking forward for a while, Luu's eyes lit up and he finally found what he wanted. The place he wanted to find was the oak forest, which not only provided wood but also the food he was most in short supply at the moment. Just do it, Luu picked up the axe and quickly chopped down the entire small oak forest. By the time the last oak tree fell, his hunger level was only half a bar, and he was about to reach the end. He quickly picked up a few apples from the ground and stuffed them into his mouth to prevent himself from bleeding. After restoring his hunger level to full, he felt much more at ease. After counting the backpack, he found nearly a group of oak trees, more than 20 oak saplings, and more than 10 apples. However, he had already eaten several of them, and there were only 6 left. I have to say that the apples in this game do taste much better than in real life. It's sweet, crispy, and full of moisture. If it weren't for the holographic simulation helmet developed by Magic Craftsman Company, Luu probably wouldn't be able to eat such a delicious apple in his life. The sky has begun to slowly get dark, and the sun is gradually setting in the west. There are now 3 options. The first is to find a place to bury yourself in it and wait until dawn before coming out. However, this will lose a lot of development time, and you may never make it to the gold coin list. Although he didn't expect to get the 10 million for first place, he was still confident of being in the top 10. That's a full 200,000. I just graduated from high school this year. With this money, my parents will be less stressed. The second is to find a natural mine to mine. If everything goes well, I believe you will be able to wear a suit of iron when you come out the next day. But Luu never expected that this crazy guy Notch had already lowered the amount of minerals. As for the third option, it is more risky, but risks and opportunities coexist. That is to fight the monsters naked. The materials on these monsters are all good things. Carrion can solve part of the food problem. Some monsters will also wear sets of armor. As long as you are lucky and kill them, you might be able to explode 1 or 2 pieces. In the early days, even a piece of chain armor was extremely precious. With the equipment, I can walk outside with confidence, at least I have an extra layer of protection. But what he wanted most was not the armor, but the bow on the skeleton archer's iobi. That thing is a good thing, whether it is for beating people or monsters, it is a magic weapon. As a sharp archer, Luu can kill the enemy's head from a distance of 800 miles like the legend. When he was in the end, he shot an end crystal with 1 arrow, and the shot was perfect. The Ender Dragon could only die with hatred under his arrow. As long as he can get a bow and arrow, Luu's combat effectiveness will be greatly improved. After searching around the area, he found no natural mines. After careful consideration, Luu finally decided to fight monsters outside at night. As for the operation of burying himself in the ground for a night, he couldn't do it anyway, and he was embarrassed to say it. The top priority was to build a shelter first, otherwise the monsters would have torn him alive before he went to fight them. I found a hillside with a wide view, where I could clearly observe the surrounding situation, and dug in along the mountain. Dig out a roughly 2x2x2 space, place the workbench in the corner, and break down some of the oak in the backpack to make planks and sticks for later use. 8 more wooden boards were used to form a circle into a box, placed on the ground, and all the things on the body were stored in it. This is for safety reasons. If he accidentally dies outside, all his things will be lost. Try typing a line of command, /thome. Setup successful. Luu was overjoyed, this would be much easier to handle. This is one of the most basic commands in MC, used to set the birth point. Unexpectedly, it is also continued to be used by Minecraft Online. Taking the manuscript, Luu simply dug directly and dug out a ladder 1 block wide and 2 blocks high under his feet. Although mining will speed up the consumption of hunger, he is in urgent need of rough stones now. After digging only half a group, that is, 32 rough stones, the hunger value dropped by 1 bar. Luu quickly stopped and returned to the ground. The furnace required 8 full stones, and Luu suddenly felt a little heartbroken. There are not many apples in his hand. If this continues, he will starve to death in less than a day. Is the difficulty of this game so abnormal? He thought a little depressed. After the furnace was completed, he embedded it into the wall. He luxuriously threw a few oak boards in as fuel, and put some oak on top. How can I go out at night without a torch, but I can't see even a shadow of coal now, so I can only burn some charcoal to deal with it. But when he took out the charcoal and was about to make it into a torch, a shiny golden object suddenly popped out of the furnace. With a ding sound, his experience bar moved forward. Burning items will gain a certain amount of experience. Luu knew this, but there was an extra shiny coin-shaped item in his bag. This must be the gold coin that Notch was talking about. He opened the gold coin ranking list and found that his ranking was 2907, which was already far ahead of others. The number of gold coins for the first place has actually reached 20, far ahead of the second place with nearly double the number. This is a cruel person. Chapter 4. Just as he was looking at the rankings, Luu's ranking dropped by more than 300 places. Oh no, these people are too fast. Luu cursed secretly. But he wasn't in a hurry, it was still early, he was jumping happily now, but he would be dead at night. Luu's idea was indeed correct. These guys who were working hard to dig out gold coins had gone crazy. They were staring at the hunger bar that was almost at the end and rolling down the tree with their bare hands. There was even a newbie who spent 2 bars of hunger bar to roll a stone down with bare hands. The settings of Minecraft Online are somewhat special. Using the right tools will save a lot of effort, but if you lift items with bare hands, the consumption of hunger points will be accelerated several times. The night was already dark, and Luu installed a fence gate for his humble little residence. The reason why we don't use a wooden door is because we are afraid that zombies will tear down the door, but fence doors will not. If there is enough iron in the future, we can consider building an iron door, which monsters cannot tear down. I took out 3 apples, added a dozen torches, and brought a stone sword and a dozen grass blocks for height when needed. I don't know if it's due to the first test, but this version doesn't seem to have the dual wielding function, and the attack damage and speed of the long sword and axe have not been changed. Although the axe does high damage, its attack speed is very slow, making it easy for monsters to take advantage of it. The long sword's fast attack speed is perfect for fighting, and the long sword has built-in knockback, so you are not afraid of monsters getting close. If the dual wielding function is updated in the future, the appearance of the shield will make him more comfortable in dealing with monsters. The low sounds of zombies could be heard outside the house, and Luu quickly clenched his stone sword and walked out. Sure enough, there was a zombie walking slowly towards him at the foot of the hillside. Luu raised his stone sword and made a jumping chop, hitting a knowing blow on the top of his head. A 9-point damage value popped up on the zombie's body. The zombie was pushed back a short distance and then walked towards Luu again. Luu repeated his old tricks, jumping and slashing again, and then lunging forward without stopping. He thought he could kill this guy instantly. Unexpectedly, the zombie's body showed damage values of 9 and 6 points again, but it was still jumping strong. Only then did Luu realize that the zombie in front of him actually had 100 drops of blood, and he hadn't even wiped out half of his blood bar. He couldn't help but curse, this must be too cheating. Just because he was distracted, another zombie appeared behind Luu's butt. Caught off guard, Luu received a sneak attack from him. I'm going. It hurts so much. Seeing that he only had 2 health bars left in an instant, Luu no longer dared to let down his guard. Let's go home first to avoid it. Luu ran in a big circle, taking the zombies away, and then ran back to the shelter out of breath. Damn, it's so dangerous. He squatted in the corner with lingering fear. If he had been hit just one more time, he would probably have died. Is this still difficult for a human to play? It's so abnormal. The attack has at least doubled. After staying in the shelter for a while, I replenished all the lost blood volume, and ate 2 more apples to replenish my hunger bar. It was so dangerous outside. Luu could no longer rush out so recklessly and had to make a feasible plan. The lowest level zombies are already so terrifying, so if it were the land killer skeleton archer Ziobai, he might not be able to block an arrow. For a moment, Luu was in a dilemma. It was definitely impossible for him to stay in the house, but the monsters outside were so fierce, and he couldn't guarantee that he would be able to escape unscathed. After worrying for a while, he finally thought of a feasible solution. Back then, my father once taught me the secret to defeating monsters with one move, and I could fight in the turtle style as I pleased. Teachings from the god of war Pi. Luu quietly found his way out of the shelter and came to a slightly spacious open space. Quickly place 8 rough stones around to enclose a 2x2 area, dig down 2 blocks deep, and then seal the top of the head with the rough stones. In this way, a simple matchbox was created, but Luu didn't want to hide in it, but wanted to fight monsters here. He dug out all the soil under the 8 rough stones, and then dug one more space outward. This creates a dislocation of high and low, just like a person hiding in a turtle shell. As soon as his turtle shell was built, 2 zombies slowly approached. Luu held his breath and waited for the other party's arrival. Sure enough, the 2 zombies fell into the trap. They kept walking forward, but they couldn't get out. Fortunately, the zombies' IQs in Minecraft Online have not changed and they are still as stupid, otherwise Luu would really have a headache. It's so late at night, what the hell are you calling me? I'll beat you to death. Luu kept waving his stone sword at the lower bodies of the 2 zombies. 666. When the 17th attack fell, a zombie finally ended his life. Although it looks a bit shaky and the method is a bit clumsy, the effect is still very good. Congratulations to the player Witty Cube Man for completing the achievement Monster Hunter Zombie, obtaining the first kill of the zombie monster in Minecraft Online. 10,000 players in Minecraft Online all received this message at the same time, and the originally silent world chat channel suddenly exploded. Sword and Flower, WOC. Which big brother is so fierce? Actually one person has already taken care of the monster? Charming Appa, that's right, this is too ridiculous. I was instantly killed by a skeleton archer with 1 arrow, and then I was revived on the spot, and was killed by him again. How the hell am I doing this with DNMD? Maoming Whetstone, I got up, and I was dead with 1 arrow. What is there to say? However, Luu did not pay attention to the lively scene on the World channel at this time. Just at the moment when the World news was announced, there were 100 more gold coins in his bag. Damn it! It's so developed. Congratulations on completing your first zombie kill in the entire server. You will receive a reward of 100 gold coins and the title Monster Hunter Undead Killer. Suddenly there were an extra 100 gold coins, and Luu's ranking on the gold coin list suddenly rose to the first place like a rocket. As for the player whose ID is called Witty Cube Man, he landed at the top of the list. Thinking about the previous world announcement, many smart people have already thought of some possibility. That is, you will be rewarded with gold coins for completing the first kill of a monster in the game. For a time, many players who were dazzled by the gold coins ran out of the shelter happily and began to look for monsters everywhere. It's just that their fate is only the word death. When someone dies until there is only one last life left, he wakes up. If the monster is so easy to kill, why bother with a big first kill reward? Chapter 5. Luu was in a good mood, even though the zombie outside was howling in terror. He began to look at the title he had received as a reward. Monster Hunter Undead Slayer, causes double damage to undead creatures. With such a simple sentence, Luu's hands started to tremble with excitement. This thing is simply incredible. Even the 5th level Undead Killer enchantment is not as powerful as this. Moreover, the enchanted book is a one-time use, but this title is permanent and can be changed at any time. Luu couldn't wait to put on the title, drew out his stone sword, and struck the sword at the screaming zombies outside. 12? It's really twice the damage. Luu quickly slashed out 9 swords and killed the zombie. With a ding sound, Luu's experience bar moved forward again, directly rising to level 2. Also dropped was a gold coin and a piece of rotten flesh. Only then did he remember that the zombie didn't even drop any carrion. Could it be that the drop rate of carrion had also been lowered? Luu felt that it was very possible given Notch's perverted character. Notch suddenly sneezed, and he scratched his head in confusion. He is the god of creation, how come he still catches a cold? With the blessing of the title, Luu can deal with zombies much faster. After that, 4 or 5 more zombies came, and he killed them all one by one. One of them was still wearing chain armor, but it was a pity that he couldn't reveal anything good, which made him a little disappointed. The whole night, Luu stayed in the turtle shell. He was quite lucky. The monsters that came were all zombies and no creepers were encountered. Otherwise, the turtle shell would have been blown away. It was finally bright, and the sound of skeleton archers being burned by the sun could be heard outside. Luu was extremely excited. This was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. He quietly dug up the rough stone above his head, poked his head out and looked around, and found that the poor little wight was not far away. Luu looked at the few hunger points he had left, gritted his teeth, and gave up. He jumped out of the turtle shell and ran quickly to Xiao Bai's side. At this time, Xiao Bai's health bar only had more than 10 points of blood left. With quick eyes and quick hands, Luu hit it on the forehead with a skillful jump chop. 18. A conspicuous red letter appeared on Xiao Bai's body, and he died with hatred. Luu didn't expect that he could kill it instantly. He was still using a stone sword now. But after thinking about it carefully, jumping chop has the effect of a knowing blow. The basic damage is 9. After the increase of Undead Slayer, it is not surprising that it will be doubled to 18. Congratulations to the player Witty Cube Man for completing the achievement Monster Hunter Skeleton, obtaining the first kill of the skeleton archer in Minecraft Online. As soon as the world announcement came out, the world channel, which had just calmed down just now, immediately exploded again. Caoni ma, my mood at this time is the same as my ID. Jiangsu Wu Yanzu, can people have fun playing games? Who is this witty square man? Could it be an official request? Do you dare to stand up and say a few words? Jojo Kai, yes, if he doesn't dare to come out, it means he must be cheating. Little Ma Fei, burn incense. Dawanran, fans are all my family, I'm going to kill the whole family, funny. Luu was stunned. He didn't expect that he would get another first kill. This was an unexpected gain. Congratulations on completing the first kill of the skeleton archer in all servers. You will receive a reward of 100 gold coins and the title Monster Hunter Undead Killer. Luu was stunned. What kind of situation was this? Why was he given the same title again? I tried to bring this title, but found that this thing can only have one at most and cannot be superimposed at all. Let me go, then this thing can also be used as a hammer. Luu was just about to throw it into his backpack, but he found a line of small words displayed on the title panel, which could be upgraded to Monster Hunter Undead Terminator through synthesis. Damn it, can it be synthesized and upgraded? Luu took off the title on his body and put the two titles together into the synthesis table that came with his backpack. A new golden title appeared in the inventory on the right, Monster Hunter Undead Terminator. I was a little excited to check out the effect of the new title, Monster Hunter Undead Terminator, causes triple damage to undead creatures, with a high chance of killing them directly. Luu's hands were trembling a little. Dear, this is a god-level special effect. The triple damage is certainly impressive, but it is nothing compared to the direct killing effect. As for what the greater probability is, he is not sure. It is already daytime, so he can only wait until it gets dark tonight before trying again. However, after a night of hard work, a lot of results were achieved. There are now more than 20 pieces of rotten meat in his bag, as well as the 2 bones and an arrow that just fell from Xiao Bai's body. This much carrion was enough for him to eat for a while. Seeing hundreds of messages in the friends column, Luu realized that his name was being posted on the world channel and was flooding the screen. I was busy fighting monsters last night and didn't have time to look at all these messy things, so I asked a question with some confusion. Witty Cube Man, what happened? As soon as he spoke, the world channel suddenly became quiet, and then bursts of commotion broke out. Luu took a cursory glance and saw that most of the people were making noises, thinking that he must be an official insider or a cheat. This actually gave Luu a headache. He really wasn't cheating. But now it seems that no matter what he says, these people probably won't believe him. The farce has been going on for a long time, and many players have begun to complain to customer service. Notch sat up from the sofa and watched the scene happening on the world channel. Oh? There is such a thing. He is very confident in the game he designed. It is absolutely impossible for anyone in this world to develop a plugin for Minecraft Online except himself. Then there is only one possibility. This player named Witty Cube Man indeed relied on his own strength to obtain these 2 first kills. Notch waved his hand and called up the video of Luu's battle at night, and couldn't help but smile. Funny little guy, he can think of such a way. He silently memorized the ID and immediately issued a world announcement. After testing, the player Smart Cube Man has not illegally used plugin software. Please don't spread rumors. As soon as this statement came out, all those who questioned Luu shut their mouths. After all, the officials had come forward, and they couldn't hold on to him. Rabbit little Gongju at Wise Cube Man, little brother, can you please take care of me? I can warm the bed. Master, domineering, that tutu Zio Gongju upstairs, you damn she-male, can you stop pretending to be a girl? You used this ID to deceive me in the last game. Do you think I can't recognize you? Young man here, yes, it's this transvestite. He cheated me of thousands. The entire audience was in an uproar, and many male players who were planning to hook up with Tutu in private chat immediately joined in the condemnation on the World Channel. Luu shook his head helplessly. With my strength here, even if I want to keep a low profile, I can't do it. Chapter 6. Luu checked the gold coin rankings and found that his ID was very conspicuously at the top of the list, with 218 gold coins. The second place only had a pitiful 28 gold coins, which was simply shabby compared to Luu. Even so, Luu never dared to take it lightly. If he can get the first kill, others can too. If his guess is correct, as long as he gets the first kill of a certain type of monster, he will get the corresponding exclusive title. In this case, I have to plan carefully. His current goal is to get the first kill of as many monsters as possible. If he wants to kill monsters more efficiently and safely, a set of armor pits is indispensable. There is probably enough food now. Luu has just planted all the oak saplings in the box. He believes that they will grow into big trees before long, and then he can harvest another wave of apples. And now I still have a lot of rotten meat on hand. Although it tastes a bit unpleasant, it can still be used in emergencies. His plan during the day today was to go to the mines. If he could find enough iron before dark, his combat effectiveness would be greatly improved at night. In order to save hunger points, he must find a natural mine. I walked around yesterday and found nothing. Luu planned to go a little further today to take a look. Before leaving, he sealed the door of the shelter with dirt and put a special mark on it to prevent passing players from removing all the contents of his box. During this trip, Luu only brought 2 stone manuscripts, a stone sword, a stone axe, a stone shovel and some carrion and torches. It's useless to bring too much. If you accidentally die when you go into the mine, it will be in vain. Luu walked all the way along the river, not daring to go far. He couldn't check his coordinates here, and he, a road addict, lost his eyes. It was better to walk the same path to the end. As for taking a boat, Luu had just thought about it, but when he excitedly came to the river and was about to put the boat into the water, he saw a few pairs of slightly shining eyes staring at him at the bottom of the river. It was a drowned zombie, an extremely difficult zombie variant. Ordinary zombies would evolve into drowned zombies as long as they were soaked in water for 15 seconds. Luu doesn't want to take this risk. Now he can only huddle up and work as a pedicure master for zombies on land, let alone in water where movement is difficult. Although the drowned corpse has a chance to drop a powerful weapon, the trident, which has a basic damage of 9 points, and can attack in range, which is much better than his own stone sword. But it has a drawback, that is, it will not fly back if it is thrown out for long-range attacks. It is only useful after being marked with a loyalty enchantment book. At this stage, even survival is a problem. Where can I get enchanted books? Moreover, the attack power of the drowned zombie holding the trident was extremely high. Luu had no doubt that if he rushed forward naked, he would definitely die in one hit. So let's not consider dealing with the drowned zombie for the time being, and wait until your equipment is a little better before you challenge it. The hard work paid off. After more than 10 minutes of searching, Luu finally found a natural mine. He held a torch and walked in. It was so dark inside that he couldn't see anything. Luu felt a little palpitated, fearing that a monster would suddenly jump out. Every few steps, Luu would plant a torch, and it was very regular. For a mine with such intricate terrain, the only way to avoid getting lost is to mark it well. Luu's torches were placed very carefully, all leaning against the right wall, so that it would not be easy to go wrong when he came back. After walking a few steps, a piece of coal appeared under my feet. This was a good thing that was in urgent need. Burning with wood as fuel is too wasteful, coal is the best choice. It's a pity that the amount of coal in this area is very small, only about a dozen, but it does allow Luu's experience bar to rise to level 5. Fighting zombies last night had already raised his experience bar to level 4, but the experience seemed to be of little use to him now. After wandering around in the mine for about a long time, the harvest was mediocre. I only found half a group of coal and a pitiful 8 iron ores, and no other bird feathers were seen. It has to be said that mining is indeed a laborious job. Lu's hunger level dropped slowly, and he had to keep eating carrion to recover. Luu bit off another piece of rotten meat and swallowed it. As soon as the rotten meat entered his stomach, he felt something was wrong. My head suddenly became dizzy, stars were appearing in front of my eyes, and I was a little unsteady on my feet. Oops! Poisoned by carrion. Luu secretly yelled that it was not good. He didn't have the antidote in his hand now, so he could only hold on. If he encountered a monster in the mine in this state, it would probably be a disaster. After struggling to dig a small hole in the wall, Luu locked himself in, as if he was locked in a coffin. It was almost noon in the real world, and it was time to eat soon. Luu chose to disconnect first, get up and have a meal before talking. Mom, is the meal ready? Luu took off his helmet, stood up from the bed, opened the door and asked. Why bother? It will be fine soon. You can watch some TV first. Mother Lu said impatiently. As a full-time housewife, she has to worry about what to eat every day. She not only has obsessive-compulsive disorder but also has difficulty making choices. She has to think about it for a long time every time she cooks. Luu was used to it. He had been hungry every day since he was a child, so he simply slumped down on the sofa and watched TV. A promotional advertisement for the game Minecraft Online is playing on the TV. Woof! 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 KK, who was sleeping on the ground, suddenly became energetic and screamed twice happily. Looking at its reaction, Luu knew that his father must be back. Honey, I'm back. Sure enough, the door was opened, and Luu's father, Lu Xian, opened the door and walked in. KK, the short-legged boy, happily ran up to him, kicked off his front legs and hugged his thigh. At some point, the kitten that was basking in the sun on the balcony also ran over and rubbed his pants intimately. Luu didn't know why, but his father seemed to have a special attraction to animals. All the cats and dogs at home only clung to him. This cat was brought home by him from outside. Dad, the meal isn't ready yet. You're probably going to be hungry. Luu smiled mischievously at him. His relationship with his father is like that of two good brothers, and they usually talk more casually. However, when I was a kid, my dad had lured creepers behind me countless times, so he made a set of explosion protection armor. How can there be such a bad father in the world? Hey! Son, what is this Minecraft Online? Chapter 7. Lu Xian is a veteran MC player. When I saw the advertisement on TV, I suddenly became excited and couldn't help but want to play. Dad, don't think about it. This game has just been tested for the first time and the quota is already full. You can only play it until the next public test. Luu knew what he was thinking as soon as he saw that look, and poured cold water on him directly. Well, that's a pity. Lu Xian looked a little disappointed when he heard this. After eating, Luu said hello to his mother and returned to the house. As a student who has just graduated from high school, Luu has plenty of time now. Originally, he planned to go out to work during the summer vacation to earn some tuition for himself. His mother was in poor health and could only be a housewife at home. The family of 3 relied on his father to earn money. In addition, my father's company's recent performance has not been very good, so he needs to do something even more. He must get the top 10 rewards of this closed beta. I believe that as long as I have this money, even if it is only 200,000, my father will not have to go out to drink and socialize every night, and will be vomiting when he comes back. He got up several times in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, and saw his father sitting in the living room holding his head and grabbing his hair, his face full of pain. Life is not easy, but responsibilities still need to be shouldered. Growing up, my dad said the most that men should be responsible. With a heavy heart, Luu entered the game again. When I first went offline, I was still in a poisoned state. Now that I'm online, the poisoning buff has long since disappeared. The sky outside has also become darker, and it's almost dark. Oops! We have to go back quickly. Luu followed the guidance of the torches all the way back to the ground. He put all the torches back into his backpack. This thing was not disposable and he didn't want to waste it. Speeding up his pace, Luu trotted all the way, and finally returned to the shelter before it turned completely dark. It seems that he hid well and didn't get demolished by naughty children. Clean the soil at the door, take out the 8 rare iron ores from the backpack, put them into the furnace and start firing them. He planned to make an iron pick and an iron sword, and the remaining 3 iron ingots were used to make an iron bucket. It's a pity that there is no extra iron ore, otherwise it would be nice to make some armor. This stupid Notch must have adjusted the ore production rate. If it were in Minecraft, he would be able to get at least several groups of iron ore in half a day. If he digs deeper, he might even be able to dig diamonds. I have been busy all morning and only paid 8 yuan. This efficiency is simply frighteningly low. The iron sword is for fighting monsters at night, and the iron pickaxe is for digging into the mines tomorrow to dig some rare minerals, such as gold, red, stone, diamonds, etc. Although the shipment rate is a bit low, at least it can be taken as a precaution. What if I encounter a diamond and I can't dig it out? I won't cry to death by then. As for the iron bucket, it is of great use. When mining underground, the most terrifying thing is not the monsters that suddenly appear, but the ubiquitous magma. In Minecraft, Luu dared to mine vertically, but in Minecraft Online, he did not have the courage. Once you fall into the magma, not even a scum will be left, which will be a big loss. Luu put the extra things on his body back into the box and walked out of the shelter. This time he brought an iron sword, but he didn't plan to use it for the time being. Using an iron sword is still too luxurious for him now. With the blessing of the undead Terminator, even using a stone sword can cause high damage. The iron sword should be used to deal with more difficult monsters. 2 zombies had spotted him not far from the door. Luu quickly got around them and ran to the river to get a bucket of water. Before he could poke his head out, a cold light suddenly flew out of the water. Drown corpse! He quickly moved his body to avoid it, and the trident almost brushed against his scalp and went straight into the tree, making a soft buzzing sound. Luu put away the bucket filled with water and quickly took a few steps back. The trident returned to the hands of the drowned corpse at the bottom of the water at some point, and he was staring at him. Mom! Climb out if you can. When I have equipment in the future, I will be the first to kill you. I have reserved your trident. Luu turned around and ran towards the turtle shell. Tonight was still the same as yesterday, trying to kill monsters. As soon as he ran to the turtle shell, 2 zombies brushed beside him, one behind the other, and they were about to surround him. Luu dug up the soil and quickly got in, sealing the door. The 2 zombies had already reached the turtle shell. MC's number 1 pedicurist is now online. Luu took out his stone sword and started slashing at the foot of one of the zombies. 18. Sure enough, it is worthy of the title of triple damage, and the damage has reached another level. But as soon as he slashed with the sword, a conspicuous red damage appeared on the zombie's body. 82. I'll go. What's going on? Luu was a little dumbfounded. The zombie in front of him was killed instantly. He slapped his head and then remembered that the effect of this title was to have a chance of instantly killing undead creatures. Kill undead creatures x1, and the instant kill probability increases by 0.1%, currently 20.1%. A prompt message suddenly popped up in the system, and Luu rubbed his eyes in disbelief. Naiubi! Luu let out an uneducated exclamation. The basic probability is 20%, and adding 0.1% if you kill one. Is it possible that after killing 800 zombies, you can kill all the undead monsters with just one knife? It turned out that Luu's thoughts were too good. After studying for a long time, he discovered that there was a line of small words in the lower right corner of the title, and the highest instant kill probability was 50%. It shows that there is still an upper limit to the growth of this title, and it cannot achieve 100% instant kill, otherwise it will be too buggy. However, the probability of 50% is already very high. Basically, a monster can be killed within 3 swords. At that time, there is no need for him to stay here and cower. He can just rush out and fight the zombies. There was a zombie roaring outside, but this time he didn't have such good luck. Luu had to strike 4 times before triggering the special effects to kill this guy instantly. Now the 20% probability is really low. Even if the special effect is not triggered, he only needs 6 swords to kill a zombie with only the stone sword. If you replace it with an iron sword, you only need 5 attacks to take it away. It seems that we can't rush out and fight the monsters in a short period of time. It will take at least 40% to be sure. Luu looked stunned as he picked up the carrion dropped by the zombies. A bright red thing appeared in Luu's hand, with some green leaves on the top. WOC. Who? Carrot. Chapter 8. This is really an unexpected surprise. Carrots are rarely dropped from zombies. According to official statistics, there is only a 0.83% chance of being dropped. In other words, players need to kill about 120 zombies before a carrot may be dropped. Moreover, carrots can provide 3 full bars of hunger. If you can dig gold mines and break them into gold nuggets, you can make golden carrots with 8 gold nuggets and 1 carrot. Golden carrots are the food that can provide the most hunger points in the entire game, and can restore up to 6 hunger points. In Minecraft Online, the hunger bar is consumed so quickly, so the market for golden carrots must be very good. LUU plan to wait until dawn to teleport to the trading hall of the main city. There is a free trading area for players, which is the only protected safe area. If there is a fight here, you will be kicked out of the game instantly and your account will be banned. Many lifestyle players have grown wheat to make bread, and some sell the mined ore in exchange for some gold coins. LUU now has more than 200 gold coins. Although gold coins are very important, he is not the kind of person who keeps asking for money. The hard truth is that if you have money, you should use it to improve your strength. Through the experience of these 2 days, it can be seen that the income from mining in this game is really too low. Instead of spending a lot of time mining, you can just spend money to buy it from other people. The vast majority of players are still being chased by monsters, and only a handful of top players have slowly begun to learn how to fight against monsters through trial and error. Of course, freaks like LUU cannot be counted among them. Most of the others form a team to fight against a monster together, unlike Mengyu who invites you into the urn. One person can kill dozens of monsters in one night and has various blessings of titles. Hiss! A soft sound echoed in his ears, and LUU immediately regained his vigilance. I saw a black spider monster crawling in along the groove under the turtle shell. Only then did LUU remember one thing. The spider monster could crawl through a space of 1 height. He was careless and forgot about it. Fortunately, he discovered it in time, and the spider's body was only halfway in. He immediately pulled out a brand new iron sword and stabbed the big guy in the stomach mercilessly. In an emergency, he didn't care about saving anything. The durability of the stone sword was about to reach its bottom. He didn't want the weapon to suddenly explode while he was firing, and his life would be in vain. The poor little spider crawled into the house desperately, while LUU waved the iron sword desperately. The iron sword has a built-in knockback effect. The little spider will not be able to get in for a while, and he can only watch helplessly as this weak human player empties his health tank. He could only let out a helpless wail and ended his sinful life. Congratulations to the player Witty Cube Man for completing the achievement Monster Hunter Spider, obtaining the first kill of the spider monster in Minecraft Online. The world announcement appeared again. This time LUU didn't bother to see what the people on the World channel said about him. He was more concerned about what good things were given this time. Congratulations on completing your first spider kill in the server. You will receive a reward of 100 gold coins and the title Monster Hunter Arthropod Killer. It was his first kill again, and he was a little numb. He threw 100 gold coins into his backpack and checked the attributes of the title. Monster Hunter Arthropod Killer, causes double damage to arthropod monsters. As expected, it is similar to the title of Undead Killer, both of which deal double damage. However, the number of arthropod monsters is too small. Apart from spiders, there are only silverfish and endermites. The latter two cannot be encountered for the time being. It seems that it can only be something better than nothing. However, with the death of the spider, a spider silk and a spider eye were also dropped. Spider eyes can be used to make poisonous potions, which are very useful for killing monsters, and spider silk is the material LUU wants most now. As an expert archer, it is simply embarrassing to not even have a bow. Thinking of this, LUU made a bold decision. He's going out to kill spiders. For the sake of spider silk and making bows and arrows, he must go. Now he has no problem dealing with spiders and zombies, but he needs to stay away from Ziobai. I believe that as long as you are careful, you should be fine. LUU dug a tunnel, emerged from the ground, and carefully observed his surroundings. He actually discovered a spider. Sneak around the hillside very quietly, trying not to disturb the nearby zombies and noobs, so as not to fall into the siege of monsters. The spider was still unaware, sitting in a daze under the tree. LUU made a quick leap, pulled out his iron sword and struck it on the head with a skillful jump chop. The red number 22 jumped out from it. The basic damage of the iron sword is 7. The damage of jumping chop becomes 10.5 with a knowing hit. After the increase of the title of arthropod killer, it has such a high damage. Harm. The spider's health volume is much less than that of the zombie, only about 80 health points, but it is still difficult for ordinary players to kill it. This is a full 5 times more than the original monster's health volume, and its attack power is also doubled. The player's blood volume has not changed. If he accidentally gets hit, he will lose his health. If he gets hit again, he will probably lose his life. The injured spider let out an unpleasant scream, which made Luu feel numb all over. The two monsters he hated hearing the most were spiders and hell haunts. When I was a child, I was always frightened by their cries and couldn't sleep, and I would have nightmares about them. If he didn't need spider silk, he wouldn't fight the spider in close combat even if he was killed. He usually used bow and arrow to solve the battle from a distance. Die! Luu swung his sword with all his strength, completely clearing the blood bar of the spider in front of him. Oh no! This didn't even come out. Notch, you Dogecoin! How much did you lower the drop rate? Luu scolded a certain creation god in his heart. He had some doubts about whether this guy was slutty and liked to torture people so much that a MC made him a hardcore action game. Helpless, he had to look for prey again. Fortunately, there are many woods near here, and the number of spiders is still relatively large. Just for 2 spider silks, Luu killed more than a dozen spiders to get them together, but he lost a lot of spider eyes. Just now, he was almost attacked by a small white creature. Fortunately, he escaped quickly, otherwise he would have lost his life. After finally gathering the spider silk, Luu was filled with excitement. He could finally have a bow of his own. He was overjoyed and was about to turn around and walk towards the shelter. Suddenly, a scream came from the dark woods. Help! He subconsciously looked towards the depths of the woods and saw a girl running out with a look of horror on her face. Chapter 9. The girl's ID was called Cute Jump. It was still daytime before she went offline, so there was no danger. However, when she first came online, she found that it was already late at night on the server. There were all kinds of monsters everywhere, all rushing towards her. She yelled, spread her legs and ran out of the woods. Those monsters looked so scary, and she didn't want to die at the hands of these things. She ran away for a long time, during which time the monster knocked out most of her blood. Seeing that her hunger level was reaching the end, she could no longer run. At this time, a little light appeared in front of her, and she shouted for help. Luu saw the person clearly and his expression changed slightly. This was the first time he met another player in Minecraft Online, and he didn't know what to do for a while. Such a cute girl shouldn't be someone with ulterior motives, right? He thought secretly. How about helping her? Luu was a little confused. It wasn't until Luu saw the dozens of monsters following her that he realized the seriousness of the problem. So he made a quick decision and made a decision immediately. That is to turn around and run away, pretending not to see it at all. The girl originally saw Luu and thought he would come to save her. Unexpectedly, the next second this guy turned around and ran away. Holy crap! Are you still a man? This young lady is so cute and you don't even want to save me. You deserve to be single for the rest of your life. Before she could finish her words, she stopped abruptly. An arrow flew out from the depths of the woods and hit her in the back of the head. She died before she even had time to howl, and Luu had long since disappeared. The monsters that were chasing the girl all left one after another after her death. Luu trotted all the way back to the shelter. There were so many monsters and several noobs, so he didn't dare to stay. It's all nonsense to talk about a hero saving a beauty. At the critical moment, it's still important to save your own life. Having already obtained 3 pieces of spider silk, Luu was not in a hurry to go out and fight monsters. Who knew if those monsters had gone far? He took the longbow he had just made in his hand, put an arrow on it and tested its strength. He felt there was no difference, but he didn't know if it was as accurate as before. In order to verify the range of the bow and arrow, Luu came to the door, drew the bow to full string, and shot an arrow into the distance. The range of this bow seemed to be a bit beyond his expectation. He thought it would only land on the ground more than 10 meters away at most. Unexpectedly, the arrow kept flying forward after leaving the string, and it was almost reaching Luu's sight. Nowhere to go. He only had 2 arrows, and it would be bad if they flew too far and were lost. Lu ran in the direction of the arrow's flight, but he didn't expect a scream to be heard in the distance. Ouch! I saw a figure walking out from the other side of the hillside. Under the moonlight, there was a shining arrow shaft stuck on the top of the man's head. Obviously, this man was the unlucky guy who was accidentally shot by him. When the man got closer, Lu could see his face clearly. It's you! The two of them shouted in unison. The unlucky girl who was shot by his own arrow was the girl who ran out of the woods before and was left behind by Lu. The girl obviously recognized Lu. She covered her head and her eyes were filled with grievances. She finally waited until the monsters were gone, and not long after she was resurrected, an arrow flew out of nowhere and pierced her head. You guy, you didn't care if you didn't save me, but you still shot me with an arrow. How abominable! It was really not that you were desperate just now, but that you were forced by the situation. As for the arrow on your head, it was just an accident. Lu's face suddenly felt hot. It was so embarrassing to be caught red-handed. I originally only had my last life left, but now I've been shot by you again, and I only have a few drops of blood left. What's the point of it? The girl looked sad. She really liked this game, but she heard that once she died 3 times, she could no longer play. This made her very sad. Lu also felt a little embarrassed when he heard this. He seemed to have done something ruthless. He was thinking about how to make some compensation to the other party, when suddenly his eyes caught sight of the figure of a creeper, not far from the girl. Careful! He rushed over and threw the girl to the ground. Ah! Pervert! The girl thought that the other party suddenly showed his bestiality, so she threw herself to the ground and subconsciously slapped Lu. It only took a second for her to understand what was happening. Only a loud bang was heard, and a violent explosion occurred on the ground behind the girl, causing dust to fly for a while. Lu tried his best to block most of the explosion shock waves for her with his body, otherwise she would have died long ago with the little blood she had left. Even so, she was seriously injured, only half a bar of health left before she died. Lu's condition was similar, with only a bloody skin left. He quickly took out an apple and stuffed it into his mouth. Now he had to quickly restore his hunger level. The left side of Lu's face was swollen, which was caused by the girl's big slap just now. It was a little inconvenient to eat. The girl looked longingly at the tempting apple in Lu's hand, and her mouth was almost watering. As soon as she entered the game yesterday, she was so fascinated by the beautiful scenery in the MC world that she didn't do anything but just looked around at the scenery. She hasn't had a bite of food since she entered the game. It's funny to say that her first life was not in the hands of a monster, but she was actually starved to death. Can you give me one? I have half a bar of health left. She looked at Lu pitifully. Lu stopped what he was doing and glanced at her, hesitantly. Little handsome boy. Please. This is my last life. I don't want to die. Okay, take it. Meng Yu finally relented and threw 2 apples and a few pieces of rotten meat in front of her. He stood up and walked towards the shelter. The girl gnawed on the apple and stood up too. She shouted vaguely, "Where are you going? Wait for me." Lu ignored her and left without looking back. The girl trotted and followed him all the way to the door of the shelter, and then stopped. Lu closed the fence door and made a stop gesture to her. I've given you food, don't follow me anymore. The two looked at each other through the fence gate. Can I really not go in? The girl still asked without giving up. No. Lu's tone was very cold and he flatly rejected her. If you don't leave, I'm going to kick you out. Lu took out his iron sword as he spoke. Chapter 10. The girl turned around and left with some disappointment, walking into the dangerous night. Lu couldn't bear to see her leaving, but in the end he didn't try to persuade her to stay. In this game world where the jungle is strong and the jungle is strong, people are separated from each other, and there are so many good things in you. If someone is watching you, you will be in trouble. An arrow was wasted just now, and now there is only 1 arrow left in the bag. It seems that I have to find a way to get some feathers and flints to make arrows, otherwise I will be unable to use my shooting skills. When Lu was having a headache from the arrow, there was a loud bang outside the house. If I guessed correctly, the girl should have encountered a creeper and was blown up to death. He walked outside to see where she died, but saw that his turtle shell hut had been blown open with a big hole. Lu quickly ran over to check, that was where he killed monsters. When I got closer, I saw that the girl was hiding under the turtle shell hut with her hands on her knees and shivering. It turned out that after she was driven out by Luu, she saw some light here, so she dug a passage and got in. Who knew that there was a creeper behind her? As soon as she got in, a big explosion happened behind her. Fortunately, there was a layer of cobblestones between them, so she only lost half of the blood. If she had been any closer, she would have been blown to ashes. Didn't I tell you to stay away? Why did my house blow up again in the blink of an eye? You are really my bad luck god. Luu's head was full of black lines and he complained feebly. Please, don't drive me away, okay? As long as you let me stay, I can do anything. The girl's eyes were red and she begged aggrievedly. Then tell me, what can you do? Looking at you, you probably can't even make tools. You can't even provide for your own food and clothing. Why should I take you in? The girl was speechless when he said this. She really doesn't know anything, otherwise she wouldn't be chased by monsters. She has 3 lives in total, and she has already starved to death. She can be said to be the worst player in Minecraft Online. Since she was the first player to be starved to death, she even completed an achievement, Reincarnation of a Hungry Ghost. This achievement did not bring her any gold coins, but she received a special title for it. Title. Correct. How could she forget this incident? You go ahead and I'll get you some more food. I can't afford to feed anyone here. Luu said that he was going to throw a few pieces of rotten meat to her, thinking that she would lose money and avoid disaster, and quickly send this disaster away. I'm not leaving. I can help you with planting. Planting? Are you kidding me? Luu stopped what he was doing and looked at her with a half smile. You're almost starving to death. Do you think I'm stupid for being so easy to deceive? No. I didn't lie to you. I have this. The girl brought up her system panel, pointed to the title column and said. Blessing of the Harvest God, what is this title? Luu clicked on the note below with some confusion. Blessing of the Harvest God, double the yield of planted crops. He couldn't help but take a breath, it was another title that defied the heavens. It seemed that he was not the only one to receive a powerful title. There is also a line of small print comments at the bottom. Malleus, the god of harvest, sheltered the hungry and cold people and blessed them. Where did you get this? Even though Luu scratched his head, he still couldn't figure out why such a good thing would appear in a new player. I don't know. After I was resurrected from starvation yesterday, I was given this thing in a hoe. Seeing that Luu seemed to be relenting, the girl quickly took out a hoe from her backpack. He even gave me a hoe? Luu became more and more curious. He took the hoe and started to examine it. Harvest hoe, using the harvest hoe to cultivate the land can reduce crop growth time by 50%. There is also a line of small golden words on the hoe, which is exclusive to the player cute jumping and cannot be destroyed. You can actually get such good things after starving to death. If those players who are desperate to play the game find out, they will be so angry that they vomit blood on the spot. How is it? I didn't lie to you. Luu could only nodded. Then can I stay here? You have such a buggy title and equipment. You can obviously survive on your own, so why do you have to rely on me? Luu was very puzzled. There was nothing good about him here. Because you are handsome, is this reason enough? Although I have been trying my best to hide it, I didn't expect you to still show it out. Hey, I was still too careless. I have to pay more attention in the future, otherwise many girls will secretly feel sad at night. Luu pretended to be heartbroken and blamed himself. He was good at everything, but he just couldn't let others say he was handsome. As long as you say I'm handsome, we will be good friends for life. Okay, then I will reluctantly take you in, but we have to make an agreement first. If you can't satisfy me, I can drive you away at any time. Do you understand? Yeah. I know. I won't hold you back. The girl nodded repeatedly, with a happy smile on her face. By the way, my name is Luu, I still don't know what to call you. My name is... The girl hesitated and showed the ID above her head. Just call me Jump. In Minecraft Online, players can choose to hide their ID above their head to prevent anyone from noticing. Luu has been hiding for a long time. Now he is famous and cannot be guarded. Luu entered her ID in the friend system to add a friend. Do you want to add player Cute Jump as a friend? Luu pressed the OK button and turned to look at Tiao Tiao. Okay, have you received my friend invitation? Wow! You are actually the mechanical cube man who got 2 first kills in a row. I know you. Tiao Tiao suddenly shouted in surprise and was a little excited. Hush! Keep your voice down, don't tell anyone else about this. Luu quickly covered her mouth. He didn't want to become the target of public criticism. No. Tiao Tiao nodded quickly, with a look of admiration in her eyes. Okay, come into the house with me. It's too unsafe to stay outside. The two stayed here for a while, and Luu already heard the screams of zombies approaching. Tiao Tiao stood up and followed Luu closely, returning to the shelter. There is food in the box. You can take it yourself. Fill up your blood and hunger points first. I will teach you how to plant them later. From now on, your food source will depend on you. Chapter 11. It was still some time before dawn, so Luu simply talked to Tiao Tiao about the planting techniques in MC. The girl Tiao Tiao listened to Luu's explanation, her mouth was not idle, and she took a bite of an apple from time to satisfy her hunger. If you want to be a qualified farmer, you must first understand the survival conditions of crops. We need 3 things: water, soil, and a hoe. Generally speaking, ordinary crops can only be planted on soil that has been cultivated by hoes, and the soil must be close to a water source. Of course, there are some exceptions, such as sugarcane, which can be planted directly on soil and sand, but it must be close to only a grid of water will do. Luu patiently explained some basic common sense to her. Although it sounds very simple, in today's Minecraft Online, these common sense are not well known yet, so it can be regarded as a very valuable experience. As an old MC player, Luu's advantages have been reflected since then. From the beginning of the server to the present, everything he does is based on his previous game experience, so he can stay ahead of other players. From the beginning, he only planned to be in the top 10, but now, he is ready to compete for the top 3. Although old MC players are already very rare, there are still some, so don't be too arrogant. So that's it. I asked myself why I dug a piece of land in the woods and couldn't grow wheat. Tiao Tiao suddenly realized where he had gone wrong. It's always like this in the beginning. Don't worry. When it gets dark later, I'll go out with you to dig some soil. What are you digging for? Isn't there a small river next to it? Tiao Tiao raised his own question. If you think your fate is too high, you can try it by the river and see if the drowned corpse can kill you instantly. Luu rolled his eyes at her. Those who farm by the river are all warriors, unless they can get the core of the tide, but that will have to wait until later. If you don't plant by the river, then where can you go? Could it be at home? You really got it right, I'll plant it at home. Luu pointed towards the ground. He really planned to plant it at home. One is safety, and the other is to prevent other players from stealing food and causing damage. Come on, take this and dig a basement with me. Luu threw a handful of stone manuscripts to her, turned around and walked inside. The two came to the passage where Luu had dug boulders before, and Luu began to estimate how much space would be needed. 1 block of water can irrigate 9x9 land, and a few blocks of space should be left on the periphery for easy movement. In this case, at least 12x12x3 space is needed. In other words, the two of them had to excavate more than 400 square blocks, and the amount of work was very arduous. There is no way, in order to fill your stomach, you have to face the difficulties no matter how difficult it is. Luu first dug a passage 12 blocks long and 3 blocks high on the ground, and then assigned tasks to Tiao Tiao. The two of them dug forward simultaneously, one on the left and the other on the right. Digging for rocks is an activity that consumes a lot of hunger points. Luu gave half of the food to Tiao Tiao, fearing that she would starve to death while digging. The two of them kept digging underground for nearly 2 hours. When the last stone turned into a round stone and fell into the backpack, they were finally done. I'm so exhausted. Tiao Tiao threw the stone manuscript aside and was out of breath from exhaustion. She leaned against the corner and took out an apple to gnaw on it. Her hunger meter was full, but she couldn't resist her greed. This was the last apple in the family. She begged Luu for a long time before he agreed to give it to her. The simulation technology in Minecraft Online is very brilliant. Although it is just an apple in the virtual game, the simulation of brain waves can transmit a fake signal to the brain. The brain receives the signal and gives feedback to the consciousness. Except for not feeling full, the player feels as if he has really eaten a delicious apple. It was almost dawn outside, and Luu felt a little tired after not sleeping for 2 consecutive nights. 1 day in the real world is roughly equal to 3 days in the game world. He looked at the time and saw that it was almost 5 o'clock. Luu was about to log off and have dinner. Bye, I'm going offline to eat. You can play for now. Hey, wait. Just as Luu was about to quit the game, he was stopped by Xiao Xiao. What's wrong? Do you have anything else to do? Luu, what's your penguin number? Let me add you as a friend. Xiao Xiao said coyly. It was a bit embarrassing for a girl to ask a boy for his contact information. Luu was stunned, but still reported his penguin number to the other party and then logged off. As soon as he took off his helmet, a friend request came on Luu's phone. Cute jump applies to add you as a friend through number search. The other party's avatar is that of a cartoon rabbit, no wonder it's called jumping. Clicking accept, the two immediately became friends. Luu subconsciously clicked to check the other party's information and found that her penguin number was still 9 digits. There was a 1000 level golden penguin logo in the level column. He was a little surprised. After so many years, penguin has not only not declined, but has grown bigger and bigger. Over the past few decades, it has many veteran users. So there was a capped level, level 1000, which was a golden penguin logo. You know, my father Lucian had prepared this account for me decades ago. It can be regarded as a family heirloom, but it is still far behind the golden penguin. People who can reach level 1000 are generally about the same age as their parents. This reminded him of a story his father told him when he was a child. It was about a 50-year-old woman named Bai Luqiao who came out to do live broadcasts pretending to be young and tricked many young male fans into giving her gifts. Dad also found her photo and showed it to Luu, which scared him so much that he had nightmares for a week, which he will never forget. Is it possible that behind this Tiao Tiao is actually an old aunt who is older than my mother? Is it a copy of Peach Blossom? It's scary to think about it. No wonder she kept pestering him. She must have wanted to harm him because of how handsome he was. Right. That must be the case. Cold sweat broke out on Luu's forehead. He was so close to being fooled by the old woman. He thought about it calmly and thought it would be better to explore Tao Xiao's tone first, so as not to alarm others. Luu wrote a long paragraph and was about to send it when he saw a friend post in Penguin Space. It was posted by Xiao Xiao. Luu was curious and clicked on it to see a short video. After pressing the play button, a cute-looking girl appeared on the screen, wearing a pink bunny pajamas on her upper body, sticking out her tongue playfully at the camera, very cute. There was also a line of small words below, and Luu took a closer look. Today I met a little brother in the game. He is very good at games and a very nice person, but he is a bit fierce. After reading it, Luu couldn't calm down for a long time. He returned to the chat interface, deleted all the previous paragraphs, and replaced them with another sentence. After dinner, I'll wait for you in the game. See you there. Chapter 12. Xiao Tao, let's go out to eat. I know, Mom, I'll be here soon. Lu Xiao Tao threw her phone on the bed and was about to go out when she heard Penguin's message notification tone. She stopped and picked up her phone from the bed. She saw that it was from the guy named Luu. See you or see you. Seeing these words, she suddenly felt a sense of inexplicable happiness in her heart. She casually replied with the word okay, then jumped out of the door and came to the dining table. Xiao Tao, what's wrong? You're so happy that a boy confessed to you. Lu Xiao Tao's mother had already served her rice. Seeing her daughter's happy face, she put her hands on her chin and looked at her with a smile and asked. No way. Mom, don't keep making blind guesses. Lu Xiao Tao blushed and quickly sat down, lowered her head and took a few mouthfuls of rice, avoiding her mother's eyes. Lu Xiao Tao's father watched clearly from the side. He had a strange expression on his face. He exchanged a look with his wife, and then nodded at the same time. In all likelihood, my precious daughter is in love. As someone who has been there, they know it very well. He cleared his throat and said loudly, Xiao Tao, you are 18 years old this year and have graduated from high school. You are an adult. Your mother and I don't want to interfere too much with some emotional matters. After all, we have known each other since we were your age. We don't object to you wanting to fall in love, but you have to be more cautious and don't be deceived by bad people on the internet. Dad. How come you have become as nosy as my mother? Besides, your daughter is not a fool, how can she be kidnapped? Liu Xiaotao said angrily that she had been an adult for several months, but her parents still treated her as a child. Xiao Tao, your father is doing this for your own good. It's always good to be more careful. Don't be like your mother and I, who were deceived by your father with just a few sweet words. When she said this, Liu Xiaotao's father laughed. Look at what you said, how disgusting it is. How can I say it with rhetoric? They are obviously true words from the bottom of my heart. Besides, who hugged me last night and said that my husband, you are so good. How old are you? You are still too old to be serious in front of your daughter. Liu Xiaotao's mother turned red with embarrassment and said angrily. Liu Xiaotao couldn't help laughing, and the atmosphere at the dinner table suddenly became cheerful. The other side. When Liu walked to the living room, his mother Yan Li was still serving food, and his father Liu Xian was playing with the cat on the sofa. He finally came back from get off work on time recently without going out to drink and socialize, and he was in a particularly good mood. Okay, hubby, wash your hands and eat. After taking out the last dish, Yan Li took off her apron and found a towel to dry her hands. She turned around and went inside to get the dishes and chopsticks. As soon as she walked out of the kitchen, her feet suddenly became weak and she lost her balance for a moment. She tilted her body and almost fell. Fortunately, Liu on the side had quick eyesight and quick hands, and quickly supported her, but the 3 bowls had already fallen to pieces. Mom! Are you okay? Liu asked worriedly. I'm fine, I just accidentally tripped and fell. It's a pity that I lost these 3 bowls. She knelt down and was about to clean up the broken bowl, when her father, Liu Xian, came over and pulled her up. You, just sit down quickly. I told you to go to the hospital for a checkup, but you just didn't listen. Now you know something is wrong. His tone was serious and slightly accusatory. Liu consciously went outside and brought a broom in to clean up the floor. Mom, don't worry, it won't cost much to get a checkup. As he spoke, he took out 3 more sets of bowls and chopsticks from the room and placed them on the table, carefully serving the rice for his mother. Look, my son is so sensible. He has grown up now and knows that he feels sorry for his mother. I will take the weekend off the day after tomorrow and take you to the hospital then. Liu Xian helped his wife sit down slowly, then walked around to the back and squeezed her shoulders. No matter how hard and tired I am outside, it is not for this small family. My wife has been in poor health, and she has been trying not to say anything. Over the years, he has seen it all, but he has no ability and cannot make enough money to let his wife and children live a better life. Having a lot of heart but not enough strength is the sadness of a middle-aged man. All right. Seeing that she couldn't resist the father and son, Yan Li had no choice but to nod and agree. This meal was a little hard to swallow, the atmosphere was unusually dull, and the air seemed a little heavy. After eating, Liu volunteered to wash the dishes, while his father helped his mother go back to the house to rest. He had to make money quickly so that Liu could let his mother live a better life. After clearing the table, Liu returned to the room and sent a message to Tiao Tiao. It's online, come quickly. Within seconds I received a reply. Receive. The two entered the game almost at the same time and appeared in the underground stone room. Fill the stone room with torches to keep the lighting bright, otherwise it would be easy to spawn monsters. He didn't want to turn around and see a creeper brushing his face. It was already bright outside, and Liu took Tiao Tiao out. First, we repaired the damaged turtle shell hut and strengthened it. It is estimated that we will have to come here to kill monsters at night. After the repairs were completed, the 2 men took shovels and started shoveling soil. They shoveled a total of 100 pieces, with more in case of emergency. Spread the soil in the dug underground stone chamber, leave a gap in the middle of the diagonal line, pour a bucket of water, and a simple farmland is completed. There were torches everywhere on the walls, and the room was as bright as day. Crops need light to grow, otherwise they will mature more slowly. Take out your hoe. It's time to put it to use. I'll go outside and get some wheat seeds. Tiao Tiao took out the harvest hoe from the bag and began to work hard on the soil on the ground. Liu took advantage of her break in plowing the fields to go outside and fetch a bucket of water from the river. Wheat seeds could only be obtained by weeding. Hand pulling was too slow, so he found a flat land overgrown with weeds and poured all the water in the bucket. The running water spread around, quickly washing away all the surrounding weeds, and there were a lot of wheat seeds on the ground. This is also the simplest MC trick that my dad taught me, but I didn't expect it to be of great use now. He collected the water in an empty bucket and found a place to sprinkle the water. After repeating this cycle several times, Luu finally got enough wheat seeds. Looking at the newly renewed flat land, Luu felt an inexplicable pleasure in his heart. Perhaps this is the joy of MC players, unpretentious and boring. Chapter 13. When they arrived at the underground farm, Tiao was still swinging the hoe vigorously, and the progress was already halfway through. Luu nodded with satisfaction, at least he was not lazy. His territory does not support idlers. He took out a few bones from his backpack, which he had picked up on the ground when he had just gone out. It was probably left by Ziobai, who was sunburned to death, and he picked up a few arrows along the way. Break down the bones into bone meal, plant the only carrot you have on the farmland, and sprinkle the bone meal on it. Bone meal can accelerate the ripening of crops. In addition, this land was cultivated by Tiao with the harvest hoe. It only used one portion of bone meal and it was already close to maturity. Luu was not stingy and sprinkled another portion of bone meal. In a blink of an eye, the carrots were ready. It has matured in time. Tiao, come over and collect the dishes. Luu greeted Tiao, who was sweating profusely. The title of the harvest god's blessing can double the harvest of crops, so she is naturally suitable for this line of work. Okay. Tiao heard the sound and ran over quickly, trampling a lot of the cultivated land with every jump. Stop! Stop jumping! You have trampled all the fields. When Luu saw this, he quickly stopped her. It would be okay if she stepped on the ground, but don't step on her own carrot. Then he remembered that he had forgotten to put a brick and a half on top of his head, so that he would not accidentally jump and trample the field. Tiao looked at the fields that she had trampled and felt like she was about to cry. She would have to plow these fields again. It was simply her own fault. She walked carefully to Luu step by step, and her eyes lit up when she looked at the carrots that were growing happily. Take your title and pull it out. Tiao lightly grabbed the carrots, and 4 more carrots appeared on the ground out of thin air. Luu planted the harvested carrots again, sprinkled the remaining bone meal, and got a dozen more carrots. Well done. Seeing how greedy you are, I'll reward you with one. Luu threw one to her casually. When these carrots mature in 2 days, it will be a big harvest. Tiao happily took it, held it in her hand and started to nibble on it. It was hydrated and tasted sweet, and she ate it up quickly. Can you give me another one? Tiao picked up a tender carrot and looked at Luu expectantly. She was a real foodie. Not now, we still have to make a fortune from it. When we make money in the future, you can eat whatever you want. All right. She pouted and put the carrot back with some reluctance. But greed is still greed, and the work that needs to be done must continue to be done. Luu handed the collected wheat seeds to Tiao and asked her to continue tilling the land and plant the seeds later. He ran to the workbench and made a large pile of stone bricks, and patiently laid all the tops of the farmland before saying hello to Tiao and leaving. It was getting late, almost afternoon, and he had to go to the main city quickly. Opening the system panel and entering the command/spawn, a hell door appeared in front of Luu, but it was not made of obsidian but a luxurious diamond block. Evil capitalism. Luu cursed secretly, and after confirming that these diamond blocks could not be dug out, he walked in unwillingly. A white light flashed before his eyes, and the next second, Luu appeared on an unfamiliar street. This is the main urban area in Minecraft Online, and many players have already set up stalls on the roadside to sell items. Take a look, fresh bread. 2 gold coins for 1. Don't miss it if you pass by. Apples, 4 for 1 gold coin, hehe. The hawking sounds on the roadside kept coming and going, and Luu was dizzy. It's just that most of the items on their stall are food, which Luu doesn't need. Sugarcane is being sold cheaply, sugarcane is being sold cheaply. A shout came to Luu's ears. He let out a light sigh and looked sideways. To his left was a man sitting listlessly on the ground, with several sections of sugarcane placed on his stall. How do you sell this sugarcane? Luu pretended to be curious and squatted down. He was testing the other party's reaction. If the other party asked for a price, he would just turn around and leave, not to take advantage of him. The man raised his head when he heard the sound, glanced at Luu, and said in a lazy tone. 5 gold coins apiece, no discount if you buy more. Oh no. It's so expensive. 1 gold coin can buy several sets of clay cubes. How dare you sell it for 5 gold coins? It's so shameless. Luu turned around and was about to leave, but was stopped by the man. Hey, handsome guy, don't leave. We can discuss the price. The corners of Luu's mouth curled up slightly. His retreat in advance strategy worked, so he turned his head and returned to the man. For 1 gold coin, I want all the sugar cane here. Luu pointed at the sugar cane on the stall and reported his price. The man looked hesitant after hearing this. He didn't know what to do with these sugar canes. He got these sugar canes from the river by chance. But when he saw that no one was selling them in the city, he put a high price in order to make a big profit. I only have so much money. If I don't sell it, I'll leave. Then, okay, 1 gold coin, just 1 gold coin. The man had no choice but to bear the pain and reach a deal with Luu at the price of 1 gold coin. Anyway, he had been sitting here for most of the day without anyone paying attention. Occasionally, a few people came and asked about the price and left without looking back. He originally wanted to make a lot of money, but he didn't expect that he would waste half a day here. Even if he went to the mines with all this time, he would only earn more than 1 gold coin. It was really not worth the loss. Luu threw a gold coin to the man, quickly pocketed all the sugar cane on the ground, and left quickly. With these sugar cane, he has obtained the material for the book. As for leather, he is not too worried. You can always get it for a little money. Sugar cane is different. The resources are so scarce in the early stage, but it is still very precious. Continue walking towards the center of the main city. The further you go, the more players there are and the stalls are so long that you can't even see the end. Some people have even opened a blacksmith shop specializing in selling various tools, providing convenience for some lazy players. It's just that the price is still relatively expensive. An iron pickaxe actually cost 5 gold coins. However, we can't blame these players for being evil. If we are to blame, we can only blame Notch for being too cruel. He lowered the refresh rate of ore by a full 10 times. The supply in the market exceeded demand, which caused the price to skyrocket. Correspondingly, the armor's defense has also been improved a lot by him, but compared to the improvement in monster strength, it is still not enough. Luu plans to spend a lot of money to buy a batch of iron ore and go back to make a set of iron armor for self-defense so that Ziobai cannot shoot him with 1 arrow. Chapter 14. Most of the iron ore prices on the street stalls were around 1 gold coin. Luu calculated that, excluding weapons, it would take about 24 iron ingots to make a full set of armor, which is 24 gold coins. From the look of Tiao Tiao, it seems that she is not good at fighting monsters. She must be given a set, which will require an additional 24 gold coins. I also need to buy some iron ingots for later use, which will be used for making tools and other things. After thinking again and again, Luu finally decided to buy 64 iron ores, which was enough to complete a group. His generosity immediately shocked the nearby melon-eating people. There was a whole group of iron ore. Do you have any mine at home? After visiting almost half of the trading area, he finally collected 64 pieces of iron ore. Most players only had a few scattered pieces of iron ore in their hands, which simply couldn't meet Luu's needs. Only one player named Pangolin has the most iron ore in his hand, nearly a group of them. This made Luu have to wonder whether he was a pangolin. Otherwise, how could he get so many iron ingots? Moreover, looking at what he was wearing, he was also wearing iron armor, indicating that these iron ores must not be all, there must be more. Many. Luu silently wrote down his ID, and he should pay more attention to this person's movements in the future. After this big deal was completed, Luu only had more than 170 gold coins left on him, and his ranking on the gold coin rankings immediately dropped to 3rd place. The 2nd place in front of him is the pangolin he just traded with, and he is temporarily ranked 2nd with a gold coin count of just over 200. The 1st place is called Xiao Uxi Li, and his number of gold coins is actually only about 10 gold coins higher than the 2nd place. He used to be ranked 2nd behind Luu, but now that Luu's ranking has dropped, he naturally became the 1st place. After collecting the iron ore, Luu continued to wander around. He wanted to look for it again to see if there was anything good. Egg. Luu's eyes lit up. There were several eggs on a stall not far away. Boss, how do you sell these eggs? He pretended to be casually strolling around, pretending to be calm. In fact, I am more excited than anyone else. With eggs, it is possible to obtain chickens, and then the most important material for my arrows is ready. It's not worth anything. If you want it, I'll give it to you in a package for 1 gold coin. The stall owner looked a little depressed. Apart from making some food, the eggs had no other use at all. If it were simply used as food, people would choose delicious apples or bread, and no one would care about eggs. Okay, I want these. Luu placed 2 gold coins in front of the stall owner, put the eggs into his backpack, and left. He treats profiteers ruthlessly, but he is unwilling to take advantage of normal players. When the stall owner saw 2 gold coins, he was suddenly stunned. He didn't understand why the other party wanted to give him an extra gold coin. Luu then went to other stalls to buy some flints. This stuff was quite cheap. You could buy several sets of them for 1 gold coin, but Luu just threw them all in his bag. As I walked, I unknowingly came to the main city hall in the center. There were some official stalls here, which was considered a prime location. Wooden boxes can be seen everywhere in the stall, and the items for sale are labeled by category at the door. This is a unique box store in MC. It only requires a billboard and a wooden box to complete. Enter instructions on the billboard to set the price, and the box becomes a vending machine. Players can choose the desired items. After that, you only need to enter the number of gold coins to take out the items. However, there are not many players settled here yet, because opening a store in the central area requires paying a large amount of rent. During the first beta period, no one will be stupid enough to open a store here, which will outweigh the gains and losses. After passing through the unmanned sales area, there was a step leading to the second floor at the corner of the hall. Luu walked up to take a look with some curiosity. When I came upstairs, I looked around and saw rows of bookshelves everywhere. It looked like a large library. Going deeper inside, an enchantment table appeared in front of you. This is probably the place where enchanting is officially open to players, but the cost of enchanting here is quite high, and you need to pay a high handling fee, which ordinary players cannot afford. Luu now has sugar cane, and if he raises some animals, he should be able to build his own bookshelf. As for the enchanting table, he hasn't dug up diamonds yet, so he can't do it for the time being, and he still needs a diamond draft to dig out obsidian, but these are still a bit far away for him now. After leaving the main city hall, Luu bought a set of coal and went back. This thing is more expensive than flint and requires 2 gold coins to buy a set, but it can greatly save his time. His main direction now is to get the first kill of various monsters as soon as possible, obtain the special effects title, and earn more gold coins to use to climb the rankings. He is bound to win the 10 million for the first place. I have Tiao at home to take care of the farmland, so I don't have to worry about food and drink. When the inventory is enough, I can sell it in the main city for a good sum of money, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Luu entered the /home command while thinking, and the portal slowly opened again. As soon as he returned home, he heard the sound of chewing coming from nowhere. Luu was confused and shouted into the room. Tiao, are you there? In the Tiao emerged from the corner without knowing it. There was still red residue at the corner of her mouth that she had not had time to wipe off. It was obvious that it was her voice just now. Did you steal carrots? Luu asked. No. Look, there are not a single carrot missing here. She also realized that she looked a little embarrassed, and quickly wiped the carrot residue from the corner of her mouth. Oh? Really? Luu glanced towards the room with his peripheral vision, and it was just as she said, not a single carrot was missing. So what did she just eat? He walked to the storage box, opened it, and immediately had the answer. A bone that she had forgotten in the box disappeared. Needless to say, she must have secretly used it to make bone meal to ripen carrots. You learn pretty quickly. What do you mean? Tiao continued to act stupid and refused to admit it even to death. Hurry up and hand over the extra carrots. Otherwise. Luu made a threatening gesture and said viciously. Okay. I'll give it to you, but don't hit me. Tiao quickly took out the 2 hidden carrots from her backpack, her little face full of reluctance. Luu took one out, wiped it with his sleeve, put it to his mouth, and bit it with a crunch. The taste is countless times better than carrots in reality. He walked to the hillside behind, sat down, basked in the warm wind and admired the scenery in the distance. Seeing that Luu was just scaring him, Tiao didn't panic anymore and simply followed him. He sat down not far from Luu and started to gnaw carrots. She quietly tilted her head, trying to take a look at the boy's profile, but her eyes met inadvertently. She immediately blushed and looked away as if she was electrocuted. Chapter 15. The sky gradually darkened, and the monsters began to spawn again. Luu and Tiao Tiao have already returned to the shelter. The shelter now looks a bit crowded. The two of them are often blocked in the corridor. Luu plans to renovate the place tomorrow, but it looks a bit shabby. The iron ore bought at a high price was being fired in the furnace. The two men squatted beside the furnace and looked at each other. With a ding sound, all the iron ingots had been fired. Luu took them out and threw them into the workbench. The helmet, breastplate, leggings, and boots should all be ready. Please put them on. It will be safer to go out later. Luu placed the armors one by one in front of Tiao Tiao. She looked at the pile of shiny armors in front of her in confusion. Give me something to wear, she asked with some uncertainty. Nonsense. There are others here. Put it on quickly, we have to go out to fight monsters later. Luu also built himself a complete set of iron armor. Although this thing is made of iron, it is not heavy and is quite comfortable to wear. After the two finished dressing, they quietly slipped out, trying not to provoke nearby monsters. Luu took the lead and rushed to the turtle shell bunker, opened a trap door and got in. This was a shortcut he left when he reinforced the turtle shell bunker today, so that he wouldn't have to dig out all the time. He waved to jumping behind him and shouted, "Hurry up! There are zombies behind you." Jumping back to look, he realized that there was a zombie approaching quickly just a few steps away from him. "Oh my god!" She screamed and rushed forward. When she came to the entrance of the cave, she jumped down. Luu had no time to dodge and was hit by her. The two of them just maintained a strange posture and fell to the ground. There was nothing wrong with Tiao Tiao. He just suffered a lot from Luu and acted as a human protective pad. She finally reacted and quickly climbed off of Luu. Tiao Tiao looked ashamed and flushed. She had just stepped on Luu's lifeblood. Fortunately, this was in a game. If it were in the real world, Luu would have become a eunuch. "How's it going? Are you okay?" She quickly helped Luu up from the ground. Luu looked at his half-lost health bar and felt like crying. Before he even started fighting monsters, he was almost killed by one of his own people. "It's okay, I just almost changed from Luu to Lu, Zhu fourth tone." He couldn't help but feel a little scared when he thought of the scene just now. "Damn it, I almost became a eunuch. Ah? Why can't I understand what you are talking about?" Tiao Tiao was confused and couldn't understand. Luu raised his forehead and regretted joking with her. Such pure girls are rare nowadays. Luu, Lu. Tiao Tiao kept chanting these two names. She thought of something and suddenly her face turned red. Yuhi, isn't there just one missing letter? How could she have imagined that Luu usually looked very well behaved, but secretly he was an experienced driver without brakes? Luu dusted himself off, took out a piece of bread from his bag and ate it. He was almost nauseated after eating rotten meat recently. When he went to the main city today, he bought some bread to satisfy his craving. After returning his blood volume to full, Luu stood up and stretched. Several zombies have gathered outside the turtle shell, and it's time to get rid of these annoying guys. Take out your sword and watch how I deal with these monsters. While fighting monsters, Luu patiently explained to Tiao Tiao how to correctly respond to monster attacks. Tiao Tiao was holding a stone sword and looked a little stunned. She had never fought a monster before. If it hadn't been blocked by a bunker, she would have been trembling with fear. Luu solved a zombie in 3 strokes, 5 divided by 2, and dropped 2 gold coins from it. Haha! 2 gold coins! It's a big profit this time. Jump, jump, come and try too. He pointed to the zombie closest to jump and said to her. I don't dare. As soon as Tiao Tiao heard the terrifying cries of the zombies, the hand holding the sword couldn't help but tremble, and he couldn't lift it up. Luu had no choice but to walk over and start teaching step by step. Under his personal guidance, Tiao Tiao closed his eyes and slashed at the lower body of the zombie. His hand was almost sore from the chopping, and then he eliminated a zombie. Well done, you are very talented in gaming, keep up the good work. Luu gave her a thumbs up with some praise. Tiao Tiao was a little embarrassed. She wasn't stupid and couldn't tell that Luu was encouraging her. But with Lu's words, she suddenly felt much more at ease, and her fear was also eliminated a lot. The two men started a night-long battle, one behind the other. With this first experience, Tiao Tiao became more and more courageous. Seeing the usually powerful monsters fall under her sword, she felt a sense of accomplishment in her heart. This is a feeling she has never experienced since she came into contact with games. She has also played many games, but they are just the worst kind of players. No one is willing to play with her. She often plays alone and alone. Then I felt bored and stopped playing. But Minecraft Online gave her a different gaming experience. Not only did she have the title, but Luu, an expert player, was there to guide her. She finally found her own sense of existence. Once a person becomes interested in something, his motivation will be endless. She even fell in love with the feeling of fighting. She kept waving the stone sword with both hands, and her eyes were so red that she didn't notice that her hunger level had reached the end. Oh my god! Why did I lose blood? It wasn't until her health bar suddenly dropped 1 bar that she realized it belatedly. She quickly took back her weapon and sat in a corner to replenish her health. Luu is okay, he does high damage and can kill monsters with just a few sword strikes each time. In fact, he doesn't spend much hunger points. Seeing that Tiao Tiao seemed to have overcome his own difficulties, he was also relieved for Tiao Tiao. After all, he can't always protect her here, and he will definitely have to go to distant places to find more powerful monsters. If she doesn't have the ability to defend herself, won't she have to stay in the basement every day? And Luu is sure that there must be many players doing evil in this server. They may be a group of naughty kids who need to be beaten, or they may be dangerous gold coin hunters. Every time you open the World Chat channel, you will always see some players crying. For example, they lost a life due to a sneak attack by a certain player, or the crops they worked so hard to grow were stolen by others. It is not uncommon. There was another guy who was the most miserable. For the sake of safety, he put all the gold coins he got into the box, and then dug 3 feet into the ground to bury the box underground for safety. But who would have thought that all the gold coins in the box would disappear the next day, and all his belongings would be inside, leaving only an empty box. The most annoying thing is that the thief actually put a sign on the box with a line of small words written on it. You are such a kind person. Next time I come, remember to put more gold coins. It almost made that player angry to death. That player was originally ranked in the top 50 on the gold coin list. If he worked hard, he might have a chance to compete for the top 10 position. Originally, even if someone was killed in the wild, only 50% of the gold coins would be dropped. This time it was better, he was immediately taken away from the pot, and he returned to the pre-liberation period overnight. Chapter 16. The sky turned white, and the battle that lasted all night finally came to an end. The two of them collapsed on the ground panting, both exhausted. The two of them killed more than 100 monsters that night. Several times they were unlucky enough to encounter creepers, which destroyed the bunker. Fortunately, Luu responded in time and repaired the damaged areas. Otherwise, the two of them would have to be torn apart by the monster army. There are many stones made of cobblestones in his bag. This kind of stone can withstand the power of explosion better than cobblestones. Although I was exhausted, the harvest was quite rich. There were already hundreds of pieces of carrion, and there was no room for them to be piled up. There are also many materials dropped from various monsters, such as spider silk, arrows, bones and other materials. Several pieces of armor were also exploded from their bodies, but the quality was too low. Most were chains or leather armor. Occasionally there were 1 or 2 pieces of iron armor, and one of them was a golden chest enchanted with explosion protection level 4 and durability level 3. First, Luu was quite happy at first, but when he saw it was a gold breastplate, he immediately screamed a few times of pity. Everything made of gold has a common shortcoming, that is, it is not durable. Even if this breastplate comes with a durability 3 enchantment, it only slightly extends its service life. In fact, it is not as good as an iron breastplate. It's durable. There are also some monsters that appear with some weird tools in their hands, such as shovels, golden axes, etc., which look really funny. It has to be said that after a night of fighting, Tiao Xiao's strength improved rapidly, and she even wanted to go out and confront the monsters. However, Luu quickly persuaded her to come back. As far as she was half-assed, she probably went out to give heads to monsters. She was also very lucky. In one night, she killed more than 50 monsters and earned more than 50 gold coins. Luu killed several times more monsters than she did, and he could only get more than 80 gold coins. This made him a little depressed. Is my face so dark? It was getting late. Luu looked at the time. It was already around 11 p.m., and it was time to go offline and go to bed. No matter how fun the game is, your body still needs to rest. The two of them went offline one after another. Luu returned to bed after washing up and found that Penguin had received a new message from Tiao. I had a lot of fun today, let's continue tomorrow. It also comes with a cute cat emoticon. Luu smiled slightly and replied. Okay, see you tomorrow then. But with a soft sound, the news of Tiao came over. Good night, sweet dreams. He looked at the screen of his phone, and for a moment he didn't know how to reply. After hesitating for a while, he replied. Okay, good night. As soon as the message was sent, he stuffed his phone under his pillow. It was just a simple sentence, but for some reason he suddenly felt inexplicably nervous. That night, Luu didn't sleep peacefully, so much so that he didn't wake up until about 3 o'clock in the morning when his mother woke him up. He actually slept until almost 10 o'clock, and he didn't even notice that there were still a few unchecked messages on Penguin, all of which were sent by Tiao. The earliest message was sent at 7 o'clock, saying that she had already gotten up and was ready to play the game. Then there were several messages from around 8 o'clock and around 9 o'clock, asking why he wasn't online yet. He quickly got out of bed, washed up in a hurry, finished breakfast and immediately started playing the game. As soon as he got online, he saw Tiao squatting at the gate, tilting his head, wondering what he was doing. Hearing a sound behind her, Jump turned around. When she saw it was Luu, she immediately stood up excitedly. Why did you come online? I thought you didn't like me and didn't want to play with me anymore. Sorry, I was too tired from playing yesterday and overslept. Luu touched his head in embarrassment and agreed to play together, but he didn't expect that he would actually give him up. There was something wrong with him. It's okay. I'll show you something good. Tiao took out an oval-shaped object from his bag, and Luu's eyes lit up. Potato. He took it with some uncertainty and saw that it was really a potato, and he was overjoyed. Potatoes, commonly known as potatoes, are an excellent source of food. If processed into roasted potatoes in a furnace, the blood volume restored is higher than eating raw carrots. I just found this thing in my bag when I went online. Is this thing edible? Tiao is not very interested in potatoes. In her opinion, this kind of food should not be very delicious. It's edible, but it has to be roasted. It will restore more blood than carrots. You must like it. As soon as she heard that baked potatoes were delicious, Tiao's mouth almost watered. Leave this thing here for now. I'm afraid that if you get greedy and eat it secretly, it will be over. Luu walked to the underground farm and checked it out. The carrots were ripe and the wheat was almost ready. It was time to harvest. The next task is a bit arduous. It may not be completed in one day, but it will take at least several days. He plans to expand the size of the underground farm, which will require at least a sugarcane field, a potato field, and separate cultivation of wheat and carrots. There are not only crops in the underground farm, he also has a few eggs, and the chicken farm also needs to start construction. He has already purchased the flint, but only the source of feathers has yet to be determined. Once the chicken farm is built, it will provide him with a steady source of feathers. The demand for leather was gradually put on the agenda. Making books required a lot of leather, and he had to build a cattle farm. As for sheep, Luu has not considered breeding them for the time being. Most of the wool is used for decoration, and he has no need for it as a bed. In Minecraft Online, the only use of the bed is that when you lose blood, lying on the bed can restore your blood and reset your birth point. But there is no shortage of food in his hand now, so there is no need for it. With so much work waiting for him to complete, Luu felt that the task on his shoulders was a bit daunting. There is no way, in order to make money, the scale of the farm must be expanded. You can't always count on killing monsters at night to make money, and you can't waste time during the day. After Tiao heard Luu's plan, she suddenly had a headache and had to dig rocks underground again. But before starting work, she looked at the mature carrot fields and started to salivate. It took her a while to harvest all the wheat and carrots. The number of wheat was several hundred at most, and she also harvested nearly one group of carrots. The experience value was rising steadily, making Luu feel envious. Plant all the harvested carrots back, and add some wheat seeds to the rest. Dozens of loaves were made from wheat, and the two of them divided them and began the hard work of expansion. Chapter 17. First, the house needed to be widened. Luu was going to dig out another 12x12x3 area. In order to speed up the progress, this time he used a pickaxe extravagantly. The efficiency of the stone draft was too low. The iron pickaxe was highly durable and efficient. Although it was expensive, he could still afford it. Tiao Tiao dropped a lot of gold coins when he just harvested the crops. Luu checked the rankings and found that he was still ranked third, while Tiao Xiao's ranking had jumped from thousands to thousands. Top 100. It has been several days since the server was launched. Most players are already roughly familiar with how the game is played and have figured out some tricks. It can be said that the level has made great progress. Those players who cannot adapt have already exhausted 3 opportunities to rebirth and are prohibited from logging in. On the day of the first test, the number of surviving players on the server had gone from 10,000 to less than 9,000. After these few days of testing, the number of surviving players on the server was only over 7,000, and most of them players have used up 1 or 2 rebirth opportunities. Their lives are very precious now. If they die, it will be difficult to catch up with other players. There are almost no guys like Luu who spend all night outside farming monsters, and only a handful of team players who gather together will choose to take this risk. With the pickaxe, the expansion speed became much faster. It took the two of them more than 2 hours to finish the place before, but now it only took about an hour and a half to finish it. In his plan, he probably needed to expand the original place about 6 times, that is, 6 full 12x12x3 spaces. The amount of work was huge. If you want to get everything done and put it into use, it will probably take 3 days. There are 6 areas in total, 1 for wheat, 1 for sugarcane, 1 for carrots, and 1 for native potatoes. There are 2 remaining areas, 1 for raising chickens and the other for raising cattle. In this way, the two of them dug until dark before stopping. Luu put the manuscript back into his backpack. He and Tiao Tiao had already dug out 2 pickaxes. Although it hurt a little, they still had to continue. However, there were some unexpected surprises during the excavation process. A lot of coal, a dozen iron ores and even 3 gold ores were dug out. A lot of gold coins also dropped during the process. The total number of the two was about 50. It can be said that it was a steady profit, but it only consumed more food. The two of them ate nearly 20 pieces of bread in the afternoon. Luu came to a stone room that had been expanded, surrounded the corner with a wooden fence, and installed a wooden fence door. He took out the eggs he got before from the bag, 8 in total, and threw them on the ground one by one. Most players didn't know that it was possible to hatch chicks by breaking the eggs, which gave Luu the opportunity to pick them up. 1, 2, 3, it wasn't until the 5th egg was broken that the first chick finally hatched. Luu's forehead was covered with cold sweat. The shipment rate must be too low. He didn't know if the 3 eggs left in his hand were enough. As the 6th and 7th eggs were broken, nothing was found. He held the last egg tightly and muttered something. "Please, come out." Luu almost knelt on the ground to show his sincerity, but the miracle still didn't happen. As the last egg cracks, nothing happens. Grass, referring to a plant. I didn't expect that I would be so unlucky. Only 1 chick came out of 8 eggs. Doesn't this mean that there were no eggs? In fact, Luu's luck was not bad, but the probability of breaking an egg into a chicken in the server was adjusted to 1/10. He looked at the lonely little chicken and was speechless. It seems that we have to find a chick to come over, otherwise we will not be able to reproduce at all. I left the underground farm with some distress. Now was not the time to worry about this matter. Now that it's night, it's time to go out and fight monsters. The two brought supplies, put on armor and weapons, and returned to the turtle shell bunker again. The only targets Luu wants to kill tonight are zombies and noobs. His title Undead Terminator has a chance of instantly killing undead creatures, which has reached 40%. Tonight, he can get there after killing another 100 zombies and noobs. At 50%, by then I will have the confidence to go out and fight the monsters. The hard work paid off. Luu spent a whole night and finally killed 100 undead creatures. Ding, kill the undead creature x1, and the instant kill probability increases by 0.1%, currently 50.00%. As soon as the system prompt came on, he rushed outside impatiently. Since it was almost dawn, all the monsters had almost disappeared, leaving only a little white one still struggling to hold on in the sun. Liu drew out his stone sword, rushed over quickly, and struck Xiao Bai on the head with a jumping chop. 88, a conspicuous red number popped out, and Xiao Bai fell down before he could fight back. He couldn't even figure out why the human in front of him could kill him instantly with one sword. Liu picked up the bones and arrows that fell on the ground and put them into his backpack. Hey? What's this? There was an inconspicuous green package next to Xiao Bai's body. He almost didn't notice it because it was so similar to the color of the grass. The package seemed to be old, so Liu opened it carefully. Inside was a wrinkled letter and a roll of yellowed parchment map. Liu thought he knew a lot about MC's background story, but he had never heard of such a thing. Slowly unfolding the letter, the handwriting on it was a little blurry, but it was still barely legible. Dear stranger, when you read this letter, I will probably be dead. I have something to ask you. Please read it patiently. Liu just read the beginning and was a little confused. There was such a thing on the skeleton, and he asked himself to help him. He quickly continued reading. My name is Jerry. I come from a small village on the grassland. I have a brother named Jerry. He has been smart since he was a child and is good at refining various potions. He is the pride of our entire village. When my brother was 18 years old, I was only 10 years old. At that time, he was already a well-known alchemist. Many people from far away came to learn from him, but he rejected them one by one. He said that he just wanted to improve his medicine refining technology and wanted nothing else. When he was 20 years old, a strangely dressed person came to our village. She called herself a witch and promised to teach my brother more advanced medicine refining techniques. Chapter 18. My brother believed it, followed the witch and left home on a rainy night, and has been missing since then. Later I heard that my brother was trapped in a snow-capped mountain in the distance. At that time, I went there once to find him. As a result, there were powerful wanderers everywhere near the snow-capped mountains. As soon as they saw me, they started to chase me crazily until I was far away from the snow-capped mountains. I'm not willing to go back empty-handed. My parents are still at home waiting for my good news. But I really couldn't defeat those wanderers holding bows and arrows. Just when I was frowning, that guy came to me and told me that he could help me become stronger. In exchange, I need to follow him for 3 days. Help him fight against the undead army. I believed it, and in order to save my brother, I agreed to him. He took me to a tall castle. That guy was actually the owner of the castle. There were many young people like me inside. I received all kinds of rigorous training here every day. I thought I would be able to change quickly. I have to become stronger so that I can rescue my brother. I won't regret it even if I follow him for 3 years. The training was very tiring and arduous. One time I got up in the middle of the night to go to the toilet, and suddenly I heard a painful cry from the prison, which is usually used to imprison some undisciplined soldiers. I quietly approached the prison, stood on tiptoe and saw the scene inside the room through the gap. There is a man lying on the ground. I know that man. He is a soldier who recently tried to escape from the castle. He was captured by the city lord himself. The next scene shocked me. He was curled up on the ground, and his body was in flames. The fire burned away all the flesh and blood in his body, leaving only a skeleton. I was so frightened by the scene that I ran straight back into the house and couldn't sleep for a long time. A few days later, the city lord organized a meeting for us. He said that a skeleton soldier was captured nearby today. It is said that he was a spy sent by the undead army. I discovered that the so-called skeleton soldier was exactly the soldier I saw a few nights ago. His right hand was injured and a finger was missing. The characteristics were exactly the same. From that time on, I began to suspect that this was a huge conspiracy. I was afraid that one day I would become a skeleton soldier, so I wanted to run away and wrote this letter before running away. There is also a map in the package, which marks my village and the snow-capped mountains where my brother is trapped. If I fail to escape, this package may also play a certain role. Kind-hearted person, I hope you can help. I fulfilled my wish and rescued my brother, and my parents will give you a generous reward as a reward. Best regards, Jerry. After Liu read this letter, he couldn't help but let out a long sigh. Although he knew that this was just a plot mission, he still sympathized with Jerry's experience. Great reward. Liu studied these words repeatedly and felt that there was something wrong. Spreading out the map, his current location immediately appeared on it. The snow-capped mountains and villages marked above are still far away from me. But for the reward and the treasure chest in the village, he is willing to go no matter how far. As long as you can find a village, you can exchange many things with the villagers, and you can also find a cartographer to exchange for various treasure maps. This is his ultimate goal. As long as he has the treasure map, he can find the underwater ruins along the way and get the first kill as early as possible, which will increase his chances of competing for first place. Putting the things into his backpack, Liu couldn't calm down for a long time. The wanderers in the snowy mountains are more powerful than the skeletons. Their arrows have a 50% slowdown effect. This is no joke. This matter must be considered in the long run. After the two went offline and had lunch, they started the hard expansion work again. The cobblestones dug out in Liu's backpack could no longer fit, so he had to make a big box and throw all the cobblestones in. These cobblestones can also be sold, but the price is relatively low. 2 sets of cobblestones can only be exchanged for 1 gold coin, which is a real bargain. After working for a long time, Liu finally completed most of the project. He stopped digging, took out the soil and started preparing to pave the sugarcane field. Sugarcane can be planted on sandy land or soil. It does not require plowing, which is relatively convenient. The soil needs to be next to a whole row of water sources. Liu brought a bucket of water from outside, dug 3 pits on the ground, poured the water into one of the corners, went out and fetched another bucket of water, and poured it into the ground. In another corner. This creates the simplest one with unlimited water, just use a bucket at the junction of 2 buckets of water. Sugarcane fields require a lot of water, and it is most cost-effective to plant them 1 row apart. Liu planted several sections of sugarcane in his bag and estimated that they would grow out in a few days. In order to prevent the sugarcane from falling into the water during harvesting, he also made some cobblestones and half bricks to cover the top of the water. After he finished all the matters in the sugarcane fields, it became dark again before he knew it. Liu had some vague expectations. He planned to go out and fight the monsters tonight. It was not a problem to hide and give monsters pedicures every day. It was too frustrating. He had no place to display his good martial arts. As for Tiao, let her stay in the bunker for now. She is not as good at fighting as him. Moreover, this is her last life. If she dies, she will be finished. Then no one will be responsible for planting. An armed zombie wearing leather armor was walking towards Liu. With only 2 swords, the zombie died. With a full half chance of instant kill, no matter how dark the face is, it can basically be done within 4 swords. Liu seemed to be in an uninhabited land, holding a stone sword and looking for traces of monsters, especially zombies and zombies. As for creepers, a very unstable monster, Liu tried his best to avoid direct contact with them. Although he had a golden armor with explosion protection level 4, he still didn't want to take the risk. Tiao was lying at the window of the bunker, looking with admiration at Liu who was killing everyone outside, his eyes full of little stars. As he killed more and more zombies, the number of bones and arrows on his body began to increase. There was a loud bang, and a creeper came out of nowhere and chose to self-destruct. Liu was unable to dodge for a while and was taken away with a small amount of blood. This was the damage he suffered after wearing gold armor. He suddenly thought that there must be many players killed by creepers, but the self-destruction of creepers does not count as being killed by players, so is the first kill of creeper still there? Chapter 19. Just as he said, Liu took a bow and shot an arrow, aiming at a creeper that was still in a daze in the distance. The first arrow hit the creeper right in the head. Feeling the pain on the top of his head, the creeper slowly turned his head and finally discovered Liu's figure. It came towards Liu's direction, but at a very slow speed. Liu only needed to keep kiting him with his bow and arrow. Even so, the creeper is not that easy to kill. Unlike other monsters, he can fight in close combat. Once he gets close, he will self-destruct, so he can only rely on long-range attacks and constant kiting. Fortunately, I killed a lot of skeletons tonight and the arrows were enough. Liu kept moving his hands and fired several swords in succession, driving the creepers back. The last shot. Liu aimed at its head and shot an arrow, taking away the life of the creeper. Congratulations to the player Smart Cube Man for completing the achievement Monster Hunter, Creeper, obtaining the first kill of the crawler monster in Minecraft Online. Congratulations on completing your first kill of a crawler in the entire server. You will receive a reward of gold coins x100 and the title Monster Hunter Bomb Disposal Expert. Lu's guess was correct this time. The creeper had never been killed by a player. But then I thought about it, and it seemed that no one could have imagined that this mosaic-covered monster could actually be killed. They all thought he was just a self-destruction monster. And his blood volume is a full 100 points. It is very likely that he will self-destruct before he is killed. There are not just 1 or 2 players who died in the explosion. The creeper has been the target of complaints from players on the World Channel all year round because it is too difficult to deal with and appears day and night. Players have to take a detour when they see it. Bomb Disposal Expert, the damage caused to the creeper is doubled, and the attack will prevent it from exploding after hitting it. Lu's eyes lit up. This thing is great, he won't be afraid of a creeper blowing up when he encounters it in the future. I picked up the gunpowder on the ground. It might be useful to make TNT. As soon as the world announcement was refreshed, the world chat channel was once again abuzz. Luu has been relatively low-key in recent days, so much so that many players have almost forgotten about him. It wasn't until just now that they remembered this familiar ID, the witty square man. In the past 2 days, he had earned a lot of gold coins by farming monsters and mining. He had already overtaken himself from 3rd place to 2nd place, and the gap between him and the 1st place was only a dozen gold coins. Now coupled with the 100 gold coins rewarded by the system, Luu already has a total of 400 gold coins. His ranking on the gold coin list reached the top again, and was nearly 80 gold coins higher than the 2nd place Xiao Uxi Li, leaving him far behind. Light Rain Patters, I'm a little curious, who is this Witcube man, and why can he get the first kill reward so many times? He is a senior gamer, and he went to read some guides about Minecraft before the server started. He originally thought that with his own understanding and operation of the game, it would not be easy to win the 1st place. Who would have thought that this guy named Witty Cube Man is actually more powerful than him, as if he has a cheat. He and the 3rd ranked player Pangolin are real friends. In fact, the reason why Pangolin was able to get so much iron ore was all because of Xiao Uxi Li's guidance from behind. On the first day of entering the game, he was the first player to dig out iron ore and coal mines, so he completed an achievement and received the title Mineral Master. Mineral Master, when mining, the mining speed reading is increased by 100%, and the distribution of nearby mineral resources is displayed. Ever since he got this title, he has been staying underground and concentrating on mining, while Pangolin came out to sell the excavated ore for him. He thought for a moment and then sent a friend request to Wise Cube Man. Luu usually chooses to ignore similar friend requests when he sees them. Many people also chat with him privately and want to get him to join the team, but he basically ignores them. In the end, Luu was really annoyed by them and couldn't bear it, so he simply turned on the ban on private chats with strangers. Now Xiao Zili has actually come to add him as a friend. Does he also want to get him to join the gang? Luu approved his application without saying a word, wanting to see what kind of medicine he was selling. Light Rain Patters, hello. Witty Cube Man, hello, do you have anything to do with me? Xiao Uxi Li, nothing important, I just want to ask you how you got the first kill of so many monsters. Wise Cube Man, this is not simple, it just depends on the operation. Light Rain Pattering : okay. Luu's chatting skills were probably at the kindergarten level, and the topic was dead before he even said a few words. Light Rain Pattering, I heard that you bought a lot of iron ore? Witty Cube Man, yes, but how do you know? Could it be that you are secretly investigating me? Luu was stunned when he heard this. When he went to the main city, he hid his game ID. Only a few players who traded with him knew his identity. Why did this player named Xiao Zili know so much about his own movements? This had to make him a little wary. Xiao Uxi Li, I think you may have misunderstood. Pangolin and I have been friends for a long time, and I entrusted him to sell the iron ore for me. Wise Cube Man, what? Are those iron ores yours? Luu was suddenly a little surprised. Who was this Xiao Zili? He actually dared to hand over such valuable items to other players to help sell them. Aren't he afraid that Pangolins would steal the gold coins? Xiao Uxi Li, yes, he only has a small part of my inventory. I still have a lot of inventory. Are you interested in doing a business? Witty Cube Man, doing business? What business? The iron ore in my hand is almost enough, I don't need it for the time being. Light rain pitter-patter, I don't want to sell you anything, I just want you to accompany me on my next mining trip. I discovered an abandoned mine tunnel yesterday when I was mining, but the monster inside was too old. Too much, I'm not good at fighting monsters, so I thought of you. Witty Cube Man, okay, I agreed to this, but I can't go in vain. Luu suddenly became energetic when he heard that there was an abandoned mine tunnel. There are many treasure chests in abandoned mines, which can contain many good things, such as enchanted books with random attributes, diamonds, gold ingots, and if you are lucky enough, you can also find enchanted golden apples. Moreover, some monster spawning cages will be randomly generated inside, which is a very rare thing. With this thing, Luu can transform a monster spawning tower on the spot, which will be used to gain experience. Chapter 20. Xiao Uxi Li, since everyone is sensible, I won't beat around the bush. Everything I get from exploring the abandoned mine tunnels will be divided equally. And if you come to buy ore from me in the future, I can give you a half-price discount. How about this? Still satisfied? Wise Cube Man, deal. But you need to give me the right to use the monster spawner in the mine. It's useless if you ask for it anyway. The purpose of Luu's trip was to get the monster spawner. As for other things, he didn't really care. Light rain pattering, okay, it's settled, we'll meet in the main city tomorrow morning and I'll take you there with me. Witty Cube Man, see you there. After saying that, Xiao's profile picture dimmed, and he must have gone offline to have dinner. Luu and Tiao Tiao also left the game one after another. After the two had dinner, they went online and started the farm expansion work. Today was the expected last day of construction, so they had to get it done quickly. When the last piece of site expansion was completed, the 3-day expansion work was finally completed. All that's left is to put soil on the ground, put water in the middle, and then Tiao Tiao plows it with her harvest hoe. Luu was not idle after finishing all this. He renovated the corridors and passages of the shelter and covered them with birchwood floors. He removed the fence gate at the door and sealed it entirely with soil, and placed a layer of stones behind it for reinforcement. This is now his and Tiao Xiao's secret base, and no one else can discover it. Luu pressed against the wall, dug a small hole above his head that could only accommodate one person, and installed a trapdoor. A wooden ladder was installed under the hole for climbing and getting in and out. There are several trees blocking the exit, making it extremely hidden and difficult for ordinary people to spot. This is also for safety reasons to prevent certain players from sneaking in to cause damage or naughty children from running in to act as robbers. After doing all this, Luu climbed up the ladder to the exit and checked. After confirming that everything was correct, he felt relieved. Back at the house, Tiao Tiao has finished all the finishing work on the underground farm. All the crops on the farm are ripe. Tiao Tiao is holding a handful of carrots with a smile on her face. Now that I have harvested several groups of carrots, I can eat them freely. Luu gave her a lot of bones he had obtained before. These bones should be enough to ripen potatoes after being made into bone meal. There was still some time before dark, so Luu counted the arrows on his body and found that there were probably about 10 more. Now that I already have the means to attack from a distance, why not challenge the drowned corpse? Although it's a bit risky, it doesn't hurt to win for the first kill reward. If he doesn't succeed, he will be reborn again. Anyway, he hasn't used the number of rebirths yet. When he arrived at the river, Luu was about to take a look at the situation in the water. As soon as he looked out, a trident flew past his ear. It's you again. Still doing this? Luu recognized this drowned corpse. It was the one that attacked him a few days ago. Unexpectedly, it appeared again. He immediately retreated to a safe distance, keeping his gaze following the movement of the drowned corpse, for fear that it would disappear. The equipment of this drowned corpse can be described as very luxurious, and it actually carries a trident enchanted with loyalty. This made Luu very envious. If he could kill it, he might be lucky enough to drop the trident in its hand. Tridents are rare good things, with extremely high attack power, especially tridents with loyalty enchantment, which are even more rare. However, he didn't put much hope in it. The explosion rate of this thing was not high to begin with, and coupled with Notch's urinary nature, the probability was estimated to be almost 0. He drew his bow and knocked an arrow, pointing the arrow directly at the drowned corpse's head. Luu moved slightly closer to the river to lure the drowned corpse closer. The drowned corpse's IQ is very low. As soon as he sees someone approaching the river, he starts swimming to the surface of the water, ready to attack at any time. The moment he was about to surface, Liu let go of the string, and the arrow flew out quickly like a bullet, directly piercing the drowned corpse's head. The damage of 10 appears on the head of the drowned zombie. This is already the maximum damage that the bow and arrow can do. If the bow and arrow can be enchanted with a power in the future, the damage can be even higher. The drowned corpse screamed and reluctantly retracted its body into the water. Liu took another step forward. Although he knew he would be injured, his instinct drove him to swim towards the water. With a whoosh, another arrow was shot out. The voice of the drowned corpse was a little angry. He climbed up from the water to the shore, wanting to teach this player who didn't know the heights of the world a lesson. As soon as it stepped onto the river bank, the strong sunlight began to burn its body. Feeling the damage from the sun, it immediately turned around and returned to the water. Liu was not willing to give him this chance. He sprinted down from the river bank, took out his iron sword and hit the drowned corpse with a jumping chop on the back of his head. 80. This jump attack actually killed the drowned zombie instantly. Only then did Liu remember that the drowned zombie and the zombie were related. They were both members of the large family of undead creatures. Naturally, the special effects of his undead Terminator could also be used against it. Take effect. Congratulations to the player Witty Cube Man for completing the achievement Monster Hunter, Drowned, obtaining the first kill of the drowned monster in Minecraft Online. Congratulations on completing the first drowning kill on the server. You will receive a reward of 100 gold coins and the title Monster Hunter Aquatic Killer. Water Killer, the damage caused when fighting in the water is doubled and the underwater movement speed is accelerated. Liu originally thought that the title of Undead Killer would be dropped, but he didn't expect that it would be replaced by Aquatic Killer. This was unexpected. This thing only works underwater, so it's a bit useless, but it's still pretty good to increase swimming speed. I should use it when I go to the underwater ruins in the future. In addition to the first kill reward, something surprising appeared on the ground for Liu. Trident. It's still enchanted with loyalty. When I took it into my hand and looked at it, I almost smiled crookedly. Unexpectedly, my European energy exploded this time. The trident with loyalty enchantment and the trident without loyalty enchantment are two kinds of weapons. An ordinary trident is equivalent to a javelin. If you throw it away and you can't get it back, you have to pick it up yourself, which is very inconvenient. With the loyalty enchantment, the trident truly becomes an artifact, more useful than the diamond sword. It can be used both at close range and at long range, both offensively and defensively. If it is equipped with a thunder enchantment book, the trident's lethality will be even more terrifying. The trident is durable. If you want to use it for a long time, you must add an experience repair enchantment. After having the experience repair enchantment, after killing the monster, the trident will automatically restore some durability. After this calculation, the most important thing now is to quickly build the enchanting table. But the problem came again. Diamonds and obsidian were needed to make the enchantment table. He had never seen even one diamond, let alone the obsidian that could only be mined with a diamond pickaxe. It seems that tomorrow I will ask Xiao Zili if he has any diamonds. Since he is a digging maniac, he might actually be able to dig out a few. Chapter 21. Liu, why did you get another first kill? Tiao Tiao also came out of the house. She just saw the world announcement and realized that Liu had done another big thing. It's nothing, it's getting dark, let's talk about it when we go back. The two returned to the house, and Liu taught Tiao Tiao how to raise cattle. I'm going out tomorrow and it may take a while before I come back. Just stay at home and raise the cattle and collect the vegetables. I'll go out again when I come back. Before going offline to go to sleep, Liu did not forget to remind Tiao Tiao that he was afraid that she would be in danger when she was not around. Tiao Tiao nodded obediently, thinking that she must do what Liu asked her to do and give him a surprise when the time comes. Early the next morning, as soon as Liu went online, he received a private message from Xiao Yu. Light rain patters, see you in the lobby of the main city, I'll wait for you here. Speaking concisely, Liu quickly arrived at the main city to meet with the light rain. Unexpectedly, Xiao Zili turned out to be a girl. If they hadn't met today, Liu would have thought that she was a boy. Hello, Cube Man. Xiao greeted him with a soft smile. Are you Xiao Zili? It turns out you are a girl. I really didn't expect that. Liu suddenly didn't know how to continue talking to her. He was always nervous in front of girls. Although the players' faces restored in Minecraft Online are in the style of square cartoons, they are not that realistic. But Luu still had to admit that Xiao Yuzili was indeed a beauty. But unlike Tiao Tiao, who is cute and cute, Xiao Zili is the kind of royal sister who has such aura that most boys would not dare to have any inappropriate thoughts. What's wrong with girls? Aren't girls allowed to be better at games? Upon hearing this, Xiao pursed her lips and felt a little unhappy. Ever since she was little, she has never had anyone win over when playing games. The guy in front of her actually dared to question her game level, which was simply humiliating her. That's not what I meant. Luu quickly waved his hand and explained. I just want to say that you are so beautiful and you can play the game so well. God is so unfair. Luu knew that she had some misunderstandings and quickly corrected her words. Women's tempers are not so easy to deal with. Humph. That's pretty much it. Let's go, it's getting late, let's set off. She waved her hand, and a portal appeared in front of the two of them. The two walked in one after the other and disappeared. When Luu opened his eyes again, he found that he had appeared in a mine, and there was an abandoned mine not far ahead. Xiao walked in front to lead the way for Luu. She accidentally discovered this place 2 days ago and wanted to go deeper, but was blocked by a steady stream of monsters. It sure looks like there's a lot of good stuff hidden in here. Luu was the same. He couldn't wait to run over and see what was inside. But before going there, you must first get rid of a lot of spiders not far away. If Luu guessed correctly, there must be a spider spawner nearby, otherwise the spiders would not spawn so many. This is it. I was besieged by a large group of spiders here yesterday and died once. I had no choice but to call you here. What do you think? Can you handle it? That's it. What a joke. Luu waved his hand and took out the trident from his bag, which made Xiao Yu on the side become jealous. Why didn't she want such a cool weapon? Hey, what kind of weapon is this? Why haven't I seen it before? She patted Luu on the shoulder and asked. Luu turned around in astonishment and looked at the patter of light rain. If I don't call you hey, you should call me Luu. This is a trident, a very powerful weapon. As he spoke, he waved it a few times in front of her eyes, which made her eyes light up. Can you sell this weapon to me? I can pay a high price. Well. Luu held his chin and pretended to be thoughtful. Now that he has the title of aquatic killer, it shouldn't be difficult to kill some more drowned zombies, and some ordinary tridents will definitely drop by then. I can't sell you this weapon, but I can get you another one. This weapon of mine is extremely rare and has its own loyalty enchantment. When the time comes, just throw her an ordinary one. Okay, it's a deal, you can't go back on it. But we have to agree beforehand that I don't want your gold coins, I want something else. When Luu saw her relenting, he made his request. Something else? Xiao looked at Luu with some confusion, wondering what kind of medicine he was selling in his gourd. Let me ask you, have you ever dug up diamonds? Diamonds? There seems to be some, but not many, only 3. 3? That's okay. When I bring the trident, you can just give me the 3 diamonds. Although it is a little small, it is always enough to make an enchanting table. Okay, but what do you want diamonds for? Hey, this is a secret. Luu pretended to be mysterious and smiled, then turned and walked towards the abandoned mine. As soon as they got closer, 3 big spiders came out from around the corner, making a hissing sound from their mouths. Luu threw the trident in his hand hard and hit a spider in the belly. 16. The trident flew back to Luu's hand again. This is the benefit of loyalty enchantment. The injured spiders were irritated. They roared and rushed forward together, trying to surround Luu. Luu sneered, they were just a bunch of little spiders, how could they hurt him? He took the trident in his hand and swept it in front of him, immediately dealing 20 points of damage on the heads of the 3 spiders. The spider originally only had 80 health points, but now it lost half of it in just one encounter. Luu showed no mercy and quickly waved his trident at one of the seriously injured spiders, taking its life away. The remaining 2 spiders quickly turned into a wisp of white smoke and disappeared from the world. Wow, you are so awesome! At some point, the patter of light rain had already walked behind Luu. What are you doing here? Be careful of being attacked by spiders. What are you afraid of? Aren't you here? Xiao said nonchalantly. Besides, I have to keep an eye on you. What if you rush forward alone and swallow up all the treasure chests? Liu couldn't help but roll his eyes when he heard this. After doing it for a long time, it turned out that he was worried about himself. Okay, I can't tell, but you are quite smart, so just follow me honestly and don't run around, otherwise I can't guarantee that I can protect you. After saying that, he walked deeper into the mine again. There is a corner ahead, and the light is very dark so it is difficult to see clearly what is going on inside. Liu had just taken a few steps when he felt it was difficult to move. Oops! It's a spider web, get back! Liu quickly urged Xiao Zili to stay away, and at the same time inserted a few torches on the ground to light up the space. Oh my god! So many cobwebs! Xiao Yu looked at the white spider webs all over the ground, and couldn't help but feel a little creepy. There were spider webs almost everywhere on the road ahead, and several spiders were slowly crawling towards Liu. Liu spent a lot of effort to break free from the spider web. At the same time, 2 spiders attacked him. He jumped back and aimed his trident at the monster's eye. Due to the narrow space, the 2 spiders were blocked at the corner, unable to move. Liu was happy when he saw this, which saved him a lot of energy. After eliminating the 2 spiders with insufficient intelligence on the spot, Liu quickly blocked the intersection with blocks to prevent other monsters from emerging. Chapter 22. He returned to the rear and stood together with Xiao. What should we do now? Xiao was a little helpless and could only pin her hopes on Liu. Liu thought for a moment and thought of a feasible solution. It's okay. If a strong attack doesn't work, let's try another method. Bring the manuscript and follow me. We will open a passage from the side wall later and determine where the monster spawner is, and then decide what to do next. Okay, leave it to me. Although Xiao Zili didn't know what Liu wanted to do, she still obediently took out her manuscript. Damn it, what kind of manuscript is this? It looks cool. Can you lend it to me? Only then did Liu realize that the manuscript in Xiao Yu's hand seemed a little different. The whole body is pitch black, with a faint blue light glowing on it. This is obviously an enchanted manuscript. And looking at this material, it seems that I have never seen it before. It's nothing, it's just a gift from the system. If you want to see it, I'll show it to you. Xiao Zili handed the manuscript to Liu very generously, as if he was not worried at all that Liu would take the things and run away. Liu took it and clicked on the properties panel to view it. Steve's Blessing Manuscript, this name is definitely extraordinary at first glance. The material is actually obsidian, and there is a line of small text notes below. The manuscript blessed by the miner Steve is exclusive to the light rain and cannot be damaged. It is another exclusive tool, similar to Tiao Tiao's Blessing Ho. This manuscript is not durable and cannot be damaged. It also comes with 3 efficiency enchantments, which is simply the best helper for mining. No wonder she had so much iron ore in her hand. It turned out that she had dug it out with this device. This manuscript is too awesome. You are so lucky. Liu said with some envy, his tone was a little sour. This is probably what Cha Lemon feels like. With the light rain clearing the way, the tunnel was dug quickly. In just half a minute, the 2 of them had dug near the monster spawner. Liu dug up a block in front of him and saw a black cage in the middle of the mine tunnel, with spider monsters spawning from it from time to time. After a rough estimate, there must be dozens of spiders around, which made the 2 of them feel numb. How scary! As a girl, although Xiao Zili is brave, she still feels a little uncomfortable seeing so many spiders gathered together. She quickly stepped aside and stopped looking inside. Seeing Liu and the 2 appearing, all the spiders began to crowd here. However, Liu only opened one space, and they couldn't come in. They could only watch from the outside. Liu dug up the blocks in front of him and piled a few blocks on the left and right sides at an extremely fast speed to prevent spiders from approaching. Use the stone sword to knock off the spider silk on the ground, and move closer to the monster spawner step by step. There were really a lot of spider silks on the ground, and Liu spent a long time beating them all away. Go to the monster spawner and stick torches on the cages on its 4 sides. The monster spawner will not spawn monsters when the brightness is too high. Liu captured the thief first and captured the king. After finishing the monster spawner, he came to fight the monster groups here. It took Liu a full half a day to eliminate all the spiders around him. Mainly because the space here is too small to move around, so you can only kill them one by one through the window, which wastes a lot of time. Mom, I'm exhausted. It's raining lightly. Go and open the treasure chest. I need to rest for a while. Xiao has been waiting aside for so long just for this moment. She couldn't wait to come to the treasure box, and only heard a creak as the treasure box slowly opened. What good stuff is in there? Liu leaned against the wall and asked while eating bread. 3 iron ingots, 2 gold ingots, pumpkin seeds, 200 gold coins, a diamond and a saddle. Xiao took out the items in the box one by one. Diamond. Saddle. Liu suddenly sat up from the ground and ran to the box. He actually found a saddle, which he didn't expect. I was about to go on a long journey, and I happened to be short of a saddle and mount, so here we are. I only want the pumpkin, the diamonds, and the saddle, and I'll give you the rest. Pumpkins are also a good thing. They can be used to make iron golems or snow golems to protect their homes. They can also be worn on the head as a hat to avoid the gaze of the Enderman. Ah! This is 200 gold coins, are you sure? Xiao Yu asked with some uncertainty. I'm sure, to be honest with you, saddles are still very rare, and I don't want to take advantage of you. Since Liu said so, she had no choice but to nod in agreement. Anyway, with so many gold coins, I won't suffer any loss. Liu surrounded the monster spawner with stones to prevent anyone from accidentally finding it and destroying it. He has already set up a territorial coordinate point here. If he comes later, he can just enter the /TP command. The two packed up their things and continued walking deeper into the mine. Along the way, Liu held torches all the way. What he was most afraid of when walking here was getting lost, so he had to mark the place well. Not long after walking, rails appeared on the ground in front of them. Nice one. Liu walked all the way and knocked down all the rails and put them in his bag. There are a lot of iron ores in the light rain. I don't really like these things, and I don't argue with Liu. Liu, what do you think that is? The drizzle of light rain suddenly pointed to the distance and asked. Liu was busy dismantling the railway tracks. When he heard this, he looked up and his face was filled with surprise. Minecart treasure chest. Haha, what luck. The two hurriedly ran over and saw a minecart parked in the corner with a treasure chest inside. You're lucky, you can drive it. Xiao Zili was not polite and went straight up to open the treasure chest. Redstone powder, lapis lazuli, 200 gold coins, There seems to be a book in here. Book? What book? Liu quickly got closer and took a closer look. Damn it, isn't this an enchanted book? Your luck is really invincible. You can even shoot this thing. Let's see what kind of enchanted book it is. Xiao Yu took out the enchanted book from the box, opened it in his hand, looked at it, and said with some confusion, Infinite? What does this mean? She turned to look at Liu aside, only to find that Liu's eyes went dark and he had fainted. Hey, what's wrong with you? She hurriedly helped Liu up from the ground and asked worriedly. You, tell me again, what kind of enchanted book is that? Liu's voice was trembling, and he seemed a little excited. Infinite, what's wrong? Why are you so excited? Liu rolled his eyes again and fainted from excitement. Chapter 23. After a while, Liu slowly opened his eyes. Where's the book? Give me the book. This was the first thing he said when he woke up, which made Xiao Zili beside him a little confused, but he still handed the book to Liu. Haha, God will not kill me. He hugged the enchanted book tightly and kissed it several times as if he was suddenly given a shot of blood. I failed to start my own chicken farm, and I thought it would take a long time, but I didn't expect to open an infinite enchantment book exclusive to bows and arrows directly from here. Infinite, as the name suggests, means that as long as there is an arrow in the bag, the arrows shot by Liu are unlimited and inexhaustible. This surprise came really unexpectedly. He was so excited just now that he actually fainted. When mountains and rivers are full of doubts, there is no way out, but when there are dark willows and bright flowers, there is another village. This is probably what it means. It's just a broken book that will make you happy. Xiao Zili felt a little funny. Why did this guy suddenly go crazy? You are really my lucky star. Liu couldn't help hugging Xiao and kissing her on the face. He was really too happy now. With a soft pop sound, Liu received a heavy slap on the left side of his face. Liu held the slightly swollen half of his face and realized that he seemed to have done something stupid just now. Sorry, I just got too excited. I'm so sorry. He quickly apologized sincerely, and he didn't mean to be a hooligan. Xiao's eyes were red and filled with tears of grievance. You bastard! You! She hesitated for a long time, but she didn't know how to say it, so she could only shed tears of grievance. I was actually molested by a boy, how dare I say it out loud? Don't cry, don't cry. Auntie, it's all my fault. You can beat or scold me if you want. I just ask you not to cry. Liu also didn't expect that Xiao Yuxi's reaction was so big, which made him a little unexpected. He had no choice but to try his best to make her happy. It was very ungentlemanly to make a girl cry. Liu coaxed and apologized, and in the end he even made jokes, which made Xiao stop crying. After this incident, Xiao Zili always deliberately kept a distance away from Liu, as if he was avoiding a strange sorghum. Liu couldn't say anything, after all, he was in the wrong. The two went on the road again and found another minecart treasure box along the way, but this time their luck was not so bad. It was still a fixed amount of 200 gold coins and some miscellaneous worthless things. The two of them divided the points casually without any dispute. As we walked, there was suddenly no road ahead, and even the iconic railings and wooden boards disappeared. It seemed that this trip to the mine was probably over. Liu turned around and was about to leave, but found a creeper standing behind the drizzle of light rain. Get down! He couldn't control that much, and now it was too late to stop it from blowing up. Liu swooped down and pushed Xiao Zili to the side, while he used his back to block the creeper's explosion for her. Before Xiao Zili could react, he was pushed out by Liu and fell to the side. There was only a loud bang sound, and in an instant, sand and gravel flew into the air and smoke and dust flew everywhere, obscuring her sight. Only then did she know what the purpose of Liu's actions was. Looking at the messy scene, she had long forgotten about Liu's molestation of her. She only felt touched that he had stepped forward to save her. Liu! Are you okay? The explosion was so strong that Liu was probably dead, but she still had a sense of luck and asked softly. For a moment, no one responded. Her eyes were filled with tears again. Liu actually took his own life to save herself, which made her feel very uncomfortable. She couldn't help crying out in grief. Why are you crying? I'm not dead yet. Xiao Zili was startled when she heard the sound. She looked towards the deep pit of the explosion. The smoke and dust gradually dispersed, revealing a somewhat embarrassed figure. Liu! You're not dead. You're kidding. I'm so strong, how could I die at the hands of such a monster? Liu patted the dust all over his body and walked out of the pit. He almost died just now. If the gold breastplate with explosion protection level 4 hadn't absorbed most of the damage, he probably wouldn't have been able to die even if he had 2 lives. Because this creeper is not a simple existence, he is the big brother of creepers, a high-pressure creeper. This kind of creeper has incredible energy stored in its body. Once it explodes, the damage caused can be twice as much as the explosion power of an ordinary creeper. He quickly took out the food and filled up his blood. After the explosion, he only had about half a drop of blood left. Liu! There's another one. Run! Xiao pointed at Liu with frightened eyes and exclaimed. Grass! Liu had already heard the sizzling sound of the creeper about to explode. He drew out his trident without hesitation and stabbed the creeper behind him. A magical scene happened. The creeper, which had begun to expand rapidly, suddenly deflated like a deflated balloon. Liu took advantage of the victory and pursued the attack, attacking the creeper's head fiercely before destroying it. Seeing that Liu was safe and sound, Xiao Zili was relieved a lot, and the guilt in her heart was relieved a lot. Why did another one come out? A big hole was blasted above the head, and another creeper fell from it. Liu quickly pulled Xiao Zili back and evacuated, luring the creeper to a safe area and completing the kill. Oddly enough, once they were gone, no more creepers came out. But when Liu took a few steps forward, another creeper immediately appeared. There must be a creeper spawner up here. Liu dares to conclude. Only a monster spawner can achieve such a high frequency of spawning monsters. Unexpectedly, there are 2 monster spawners hidden in the mine. This one is an extremely difficult creeper spawner. Generally speaking, Liu would never even take a look at a monster spawner like this before. Because the creeper is too unstable, it will blow itself up if you are not careful, and the income is not high, and it cannot be used as a monster spawning tower to gain experience. But now he is particularly excited, as his title of bomb disposal expert finally comes into use. Quick! I'm going to deal with the creepers here. You dig a passage up there. I want to go up and take a look. Xiao Yu nodded softly, and immediately found a wall and dug out a stair passage diagonally upwards. After Liu finished dealing with the creeper, Xiao emerged from the passage and waved to him. The digging is done. Come quickly. Chapter 24. Okay. I'm coming. Liu quickly got in and blocked the entrance behind him. He didn't want to be attacked from both sides. Walking up the steps, Xiao Yuxi had dug a platform at the top. With previous experience, she controlled the distance of digging this time just right, just outside the monster spawning distance, very safe. Liu looked at the green stone wall in front of him and was 100% sure that this was a monster spawning cage, and it was a closed dungeon. This kind of dungeon is rarer than the open-air monster spawning cage in the mine, and the treasure chest inside is also very rich. This time I finally picked up a treasure. Stay here and don't move. If a monster runs out, hide quickly. Do you hear me? Liu told Xiao Yuxi that creepers are not ordinary monsters, so it's better not to let her follow him. Xiao Yuxi nodded. At this time, she still knew to consider the overall situation. He took the iron draft and slowly approached the stone wall. He dug the stone wall and saw the scene inside. It was indeed a dungeon monster cage. There was a cage in the middle of the stone room. There was a little light inside that was slowly rotating, and a small creeper appeared in it. In a few seconds, 2 or 3 creepers appeared in the room. There was a gap in the lower left corner of the room, facing the big pit that had just exploded below. The creeper fell from here. If it were someone else, I'm afraid they could only stare blankly here. Only Liu was different. He directly chiseled the wall and walked in swaggeringly. A creeper that doesn't explode is simply the best experience, baby. He quickly killed several creepers and lit up the monster cage, and then began to check several treasure chests in the dungeon. There were 2 treasure chests in total. The first one had only a diamond and a few gold ingots, silver ingots, and cocoa beans. There was nothing else, not even gold coins. Damn, is my luck so bad? Come in, it's safe. He had no choice but to call Xiao Zili in. She seemed to have good luck, so he let her open the box. Xiao Zili walked in carefully and opened the box. A saddle. Xiao Zili was indeed lucky. The first thing she took out was a saddle. Liu smiled and urged, there's more. It's still a saddle. Xiao Zili's expression was a little strange, but Liu smiled. Now, there's another one. It's still a saddle. Xiao Zili's forehead had a few black lines. Why is there only a saddle? Liu was already a little doubtful about his life. It turned out that this was a saddle wholesale market. Anything else? Liu asked nervously. It couldn't be a saddle again. Yes. Xiao Zili reached out and took out an enchantment book from the box, and smiled and shook it at Liu. Ah, I'm dead. Liu screamed and snatched the enchantment book. He was like a mouse that fell into a rice jar, and he was so happy that he couldn't find his way. Lightning. He looked at the enchantment book in his hand in shock, a little dazed. Lightning, loyalty, torrent, experience repair. He had already collected 2 of the 4 god-level enchantments of the trident, which was incredible to think about. He almost knelt in front of Xiao Yuxi and kowtowed to her 3 times. Her luck was too good. No, I must find a way to pull her into my camp. This is simply a mascot. Are you okay? Xiao Yuxi asked the crazy Liu. It's okay. I'm fine. Little lucky star, help me see what else is in the box. Liu showed a bright smile like a chrysanthemum, which made Xiao Yuxi frown and quickly hide away. No more, there are only 200 gold coins left. She showed a disappointed expression. It's okay, you are already very good, it's getting late, we should go back, I will send you a trident another day. The 2 of them divided the spoils equally, plus the dozens of gold coins dropped by killing monsters. Liu got more than 300 gold coins this time, and the 2 of them were far ahead on the gold coin list. Xiao Yuxi was originally about 200 gold coins behind Liu, and now he got more than 200 gold coins, which directly led to the fact that the number of gold coins of the 2 was almost the same, reaching more than 700. Someone on the World Chat channel has already discovered this matter, and everyone is discussing it enthusiastically. They all feel that something seems to be wrong. The number of gold coins of the first and second place has skyrocketed so much at the same time, which is too unscientific. Su Yuxian, WOC, what did the first and second place do? Why do they have so many gold coins? I work so hard every day to mine and farm, but I only get more than 50 gold coins. Marco, yes, if these two tough guys join forces, how can we ordinary players play? A little Kun Kun, and Hat Pangolin is also a weirdo. He sells ore in the main city all day long, and he never goes out to do anything else. Where does he get so much ore? Luu and his three friends have become the public enemy of the entire server without knowing it. Many players with ulterior motives have begun to check the whereabouts of Luu and his friends. But Luu didn't know yet that he and others were being targeted. Xiao Zili directly gave Luu all 4 diamonds in the bag, and also gave him a set of iron ore, which was a generous spender. Luu was not polite, took the things, thanked him, and teleported back home. Tiao Tiao was squatting on the steps, her eyes a little confused. Luu had been walking for a whole day. After she finished working on the underground farm, she didn't know what to do. In the past few days, she had become accustomed to following Luu around. His sudden departure made Tiao Tiao feel uncomfortable. What are you doing? Sitting here in a daze. Luu appeared from the portal. Luu. You're back. Hearing the footsteps behind her, she stood up suddenly. When she turned her head, she saw Luu's familiar face, and her voice was full of surprise. Hee. I brought you a lot of good things this time. Luu took out the pumpkin, watermelon, and cocoa bean seeds obtained from the mine. Wow! What are these? Why haven't I seen them before? You take these crops first and free up the chicken farm to grow these things. We don't need that now. Now that he has unlimited enchanted books, the chicken farm is useless to Luu and is dispensable. These seeds were of no use to Luu, but they were a treasure for Tiao Tiao, a foodie, so he brought them back. Tiao Tiao put the seeds in her backpack and immediately ran into the underground farm to start working. With the temptation of food, she instantly became very motivated. Chapter 25. There was still some time before lunch, so Luu decided to go outside to find a few drowned zombies to kill. He still owed Xiao Yuzili a trident, and the durability of his trident was only half as long. Although the trident can also be repaired with an anvil, it requires another trident as a material. This requires him to prepare a few more tridents as backup. When we came to the river at the door, there were many drowned corpses gathered here before, but now there seemed to be only a few left. Luu didn't hesitate, he took out his iron sword and plunged into the water. With the blessing of the title of aquatic killer, his swimming speed became extremely fast. The drowned corpses could not touch him at all and could only watch Luu run away. But he still had to surface for air after all, since he couldn't breathe underwater yet. After floating up and down a few times, he easily eliminated the 2 drowned corpses in the creek in front of his home. However, his luck was not so good this time and the trident was not dropped. Luu was not too frustrated. He also knew that the drop rate was not high. He just wanted to try his luck. Maybe he would be a blind cat and a dead mouse. After lunch, Luu came online again. He first made an anvil and put the infinite enchantment book on a brand new bow and arrow. He had gotten a lot of spider silk when he went to the mine. The trident was also enchanted with lightning. With this enchantment, Luu's combat effectiveness will be exponentially improved during thunderstorms. Luu walked outside with the new enchanted bow on his back, put a small boat on the water, and started his voyage. No one else would believe it, but he had almost killed all the drowned corpses in the nearby waters, so he could only run further away to look for them. He stared at the movement in the water very seriously, for fear of missing a monster. The drowned corpses in this river have been unlucky for 8 lifetimes. They usually don't attack players in the water. They have always been good drowned corpses who abide by the law. In the end, Luu is like an unreasonable robber. Who cares? 3721, I'll kill you with just a few swords. After killing about 30 drowned zombies, the first trident was revealed, which was an ordinary one without enchantment. Luu was a little depressed, but it was getting late and he had to rush home. Otherwise, he would not feel at ease if Tiao Tiao was alone at home. After opening the portal and returning home, Tiao Tiao had already organized the underground farm in order. Luu, Come and eat some watermelon, I just picked it. She smiled and walked towards Luu holding a basket of red watermelons that looked very attractive. Luu also ate watermelon for the first time in the game. He took a bite and an extremely sweet taste spread in his mouth. It's refreshing, sweet and delicious. It's much more delicious than the top-quality sand flesh Black Beauty watermelon sold in real supermarkets. This melon is so delicious. He couldn't help but admire. I believe that Minecraft Online alone can make hundreds of millions of foodies on the earth go crazy for its level of restoration of food. Being able to enjoy all kinds of delicious food without gaining weight is the dream of all foodies. It was getting dark, and Luu took Diao Diao outside to fight monsters again. When passing by the river, there happened to be a zombie without eyes that wanted to attack Luu, but he repelled it with his sword and fell into the water. Water. Yes, why did I forget this time? Ordinary zombies will turn into drowned corpses within 15 seconds if they fall into the water. Why don't you just lure all the zombies into the water yourself? The zombie struggled in the water for a few times before turning into a drowned corpse with a trident in its hand. Luu quickly got rid of him, then paved a path along the river bank to the center of the river, and built a hut on it. Luu went out and wandered around, and within a few minutes, dozens of monsters appeared behind him, making a huge noise. Diao Diao looked at the group of monsters behind him, feeling a little creepy, and hurriedly hid in the hut, not daring to poke his head out. Luu jumped up to the hut in the river with a quick step, and all the monsters were walking towards the river with their claws and teeth bared. As soon as they entered the water, their movements became sluggish. Luu used his bow and shot arrows to get rid of all the difficult Xiaobai first. Although he is very powerful in combat now, if there are too many Xiaobais and they attack in groups, he will still be unable to bear it. After getting rid of Xiaobai, the rest is very simple. After clearing away the spiders, more than 20 zombies and a few creepers were left. The creepers exploded in the water without any harm, so Luu didn't bother to care about them. 15 seconds have passed, and all the zombies have turned into drowned corpses. Half of the monsters among them held a trident in their hands. Luu did not dare to be careless and threw out the trident in his hand, stabbing them straight on the top of their heads. Every time the trident is thrown, Luu will take advantage of the time before the trident flies back to change into a bow and arrow, and quickly shoot 2 arrows. When the trident automatically flies back to his hand, he immediately lowers his head to avoid the trident throw of the drowned corpse. Just changing positions by throwing halberds and shooting arrows, the poor drowned zombies were all wiped out in a short time. He quickly jumped into the water and picked up all the trophies left at the bottom. Haha! I actually lost 2 tridents. This one comes with Riptide enchantment. It seems that it will be much easier to fight the Ender Dragon in the future. Luu has been happy for a long time, now he doesn't have to worry. But he wasn't quite satisfied yet. It was still late at night and he had a lot of time. If he came a few more times, he would have nothing to do anyway. So, under Tao Xiao's surprised eyes, Luu traveled back and forth between the land and the hut in the river, one trip after another, back and forth tirelessly. He has lost count of how many monsters he has killed. Anyway, there are already several groups of rotten meat in the bag, as well as all kinds of messy things. A dozen tridents were also lost, of which only 2 were equipped with enchantments, and they were still useless for piercing. Although it is an enchantment that increases damage, Luu doesn't really need this thing. He plans to give a normal and an enchanted trident to Xiao Zili. After all, they are quite generous to me, but they can't lose their etiquette. The most important thing is to show goodwill and try to see if there is a chance to win over. It is still a bit difficult for him and Diao Diao to stay at the top of the rankings with just the strength of him and Diao Diao. Finding someone to cooperate with him became the best option. At worst, he would be rewarded with an average score. Anyway, 10 million and 1 million were both numbers that were out of reach for him. Luu was running around and found something was wrong. No matter how he wandered around, the area around him seemed to have stopped spawning monsters. Could it be that he was targeted by the system?